Lauren Bell round the wicket. Short ball which has been chipped in the air. Freya Kemp with the catch, surely. Yes, end of the game. Caught at backward point, and Bell finishes with 3 foot. The game concludes with the simplest of catches, a match that started in a horrible fashion for England. They were 11 for 4 early on, but they fought back, and England take a 1-0 lead in the series. They win by 53.
Yes, England will be hoping for no more batting collapses tonight. Welcome to the county ground at Wantage Road in Northampton, as England's women are aiming to take an unassailable 2-0 lead in this 3-match T20 international series against Pakistan. I'm Alison Mitchell with you for Test Match Special. And yes, England managed to win that first game despite wobbling badly at the start with the bat. So they'll be looking for a much more clinical performance against this Pakistan team, who are ranked 6 places below them in the world rankings. This is all they're leading towards. Remember, the T20 World Cup coming up in Bangladesh in September and October. It's a little bit overcast here. It's a pleasant evening. It's just sort of shirt sleeves weather. Plenty of people wandering around. The ice cream van is parked in the corner, and there's a nice atmosphere building. Plenty of youngsters in cricket kit as well, because it's free for the Dynamos and All-Stars kids to come into Northampton tonight. So lots of autograph hunters are around as well. Heather Knight, the England captain, has won the toss. England will be batting first. I have 2 World Cup winners alongside me in former England spinner Alex Hartley and legendary fast bowler Catherine Brunt as well. Welcome to you both.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm not used to hearing former yet, are you?
No.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Does it put you off to start with?
Well, we're not old. We're still young and sprightly.
You are.
Former. Oh, I forgot I retired.
You can get out there if you like.
Absolutely
We can find a shirt for you.
Might squeeze into my Dynamos to get in for free.
Tell me then, what are England, Catherine, going to want to get out of today, given what happened at Edgbaston? Yes, they came away with the win, but not in the manner they would have liked.
Yeah, I think they'll want a far better start, won't they? It's not often we see Heather Knight win the toss. It's probably 1 in 40. But opting to bowl, I think she wants to put the girls under a bit of pressure. I think this is all about putting them under as much pressure as possible in all situations. Not wanting to, undervalue Pakistan, but this is an opportune time to take your risks rather than against New Zealand, who are, better. So good on her. I think this is the way you learn, and the way you learn your toughest moments. Obviously, chopping and changing the team is hard as well, playing in a squad where you're not sure what your role is or what the balance is, and having to adapt and things like that. So I'm quite happy that they're doing this to themselves.
Yeah, me too. I think, Heather Knight said at the toss that it might just nip around a little bit, be a little bit skiddy. So it's good to put themselves under pressure. Yes, they were 11 for 4 in the previous game, but what impressed me actually at Edgbaston was they didn't collapse. Amy Jones and Heather Knight got them. They stabled that ship, didn't they? They stopped it overflowing. We've seen in previous times that England have then been bowled out cheaply, especially when they've not had Nat Sciver-Brunt in the team. She's really been the glue that's held this team together for such a long period of time. So without her, it was almost like, what can this England team do? So it was good to see other players step up, and obviously Amy Jones on her 100th game at home was such a special moment for her as well.
It was special, wasn't it? Terrific partnership she put on with Heather Knight to dig England out of that hole. So Nat Sciver-Brunt is back. She slots into the side in place of Freya Kemp, who makes way. And Catherine, we knew that she was absent from Edgbaston because of a minor medical procedure, which you've now gone public with. And would you like to share with us as well?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, she feels sorry for Kempy. Like for light in the future, that is Nat Sciver-Brunt. And Kempy said many times that she actually said recently in a little team bonding session that Nat was her inspiration to be, that she wants to be like that. So brilliant.
Not the only England player who held Nat as an inspiration.
Yeah, and Nat is extremely nervous today because a lot's said about things, isn't it? Nat has a lot of volume behind her, like that she just won World Player of the Year, and with that comes a lot of weight, and she's aware of that. So yeah, I'm feeling for her today because I know what that feels like too. So yeah, I hope she has a good steady game, but with that coming out, I think that's a bit of weight off too.
Yeah. So
it was a bit of a strange situation because you want to be private, but then talking together about it, we wanted. I'm very honest, a bit like Al actually.
Yeah,
maybe
you
too.
share a lot, and people
yeah,
appreciate
and
that
sometimes
when you want to.
Some people might think we overshare, but I don't care. Like, there's things you go through life, and sometimes when things like that happen to you, you just wish that you'd known before. And so there's many things that I've gone through that I've shared over the last few years, whether it have been bullied at school or how I got playing for England and what that journey was like, or my mum being religious, being openly gay, and now going through this really difficult fertility journey. The main aim is if we can help 1-2 people, it's worth some of the vulnerability we have to go through, but she certainly feels great about doing it.
So it was an egg freezing procedure,
yes.
And now she's back.
Yes, the embryos are on ice. Ready for after the Olympics.
We'll keep your fingers crossed. It's great to hear. And to know that she is back and able to play and take her spot in the side. So England line up Maya Bouchier and Danny Wyatt at the top. And I'm sure they will want to put on a good opening stand because they were part of that top order collapse, just 4 for Bouchier and Wyatt out for 1. And there were some soft catches, weren't there, offered at the top of the order. Alice Capsey at 3, Heather Knight at 4, Nat Sciver-Brunt, then Amy Jones, Danielle Gibson, who also had that fabulous partnership lower down the order with Sophie Eccleston to boost England's total at Edgbaston. Charlie Dean, spinner, Sophie Eccleston, number 1 T20 bowler in the world. Sarah Glenn, who took her joint best career figures at home, isn't it, at the last game. And Lauren Bell finishing the lineup for England. There are for Pakistan. I'll give you those, and then we'll hear from Lauren Bell before we delve a bit more into the Pakistan team. So 3 changes for Pakistan. That is Alia Riaz, medium pacer, comes in and batter for Natalia Pervez. Nashra Sandhu, who's a left-arm spinner, in for Tuba Hassan, the leg spin bowler. And Diana Baig comes in. She was left out of the last game. Wahida Akhtar came in sort of in her place, but really performed very well at the top of the innings. So Baig is in for Ramin Shameen. So that's Sidra Amin and Gul Feroza to open. Sadaf Shamaz, Muniba Ali, Nida Dar, Alia Riaz, Fatima Sana, Nashra Sandhu, Diana Baig, Wahida Akhtar and Sadia Iqbal. That is the Pakistan lineup. Well, let's hear from one of England's leading bowlers now. Lauren Bell has picked up the mantle of opening bowler for England. So let's hear from her about just how they played against Pakistan. She says that they won't be doing anything differently with their approach.
That approach will never change, and I don't think the messaging will ever change. I think maybe it's just the way we go about it against different bowling attacks. Obviously Pakistan bowl a bit slower, and the options, I'm obviously not a batter, but the options that the girls take, I guess, were what was being discussed. But the way we go about and the attitude we have and the way we approach the game will always be the same, and taking the game forward, taking the game on will always be John's message. And I don't think he'll go away from that. And Gibber obviously came in and was striking at 200, so I feel like it gives the team a lot of confidence that that's how we want to play, and we are going to fail probably sometimes, but we're not going to go away from the way we want to play.
So that is England's opening bowler Lauren Bell, as the ground has started to be cleared here at Northampton, and we can see the plinths being set up ready for some fire, I'm sure, as the players all come out onto the field. And so first of all then, let's pick up on what Lauren was saying there about England's style. They're not going to change anything, Alex. I mean, do you put that batting collapse down to that style of play, or was it just something that happened and mistakes made on the day? No,
I don't think that collapse necessarily happened because they've got this brand of cricket that they want to play. I think there was a slight, it was almost like two minds of being aggressive and reckless, and you don't want to cross that aggressive line. And there were some soft dismissals. England will know that, the players will know that, but actually it's how you rebuild and how you learn from those situations. And when you look at Maya Bouchier and Alice Capsey, both 2 inexperienced players at international cricket, especially Bouchier, that only started opening in New Zealand. She'd done it 3 times, so that was her 4th innings opening for England. And actually she's allowed to make mistakes. She's a young player, and this is when you need to make mistakes before the World Cup. You learn from them, put the wrongs right. So actually I don't mind England going out and being slightly reckless in this series and learning that balance between being aggressive and almost getting it wrong. So they are learning for the World Cup. But as I say, I think they are playing the right brand of cricket. I like the fact that they're being aggressive. Everyone talks about the Test team and how Bazball, how amazing it is, and sometimes they're reckless. Well, the girls are playing a similar brand. They want to inspire the next generation of players, and it does. Yep.
Well, let's hear a bit more from the Pakistan camp as the mascots are coming out onto the field, which means we'll get the teams out soon. Let's hear from their former captain, Bismar Maroof, on just what the Pakistan team can achieve this year ahead of the World Cup.
They have got plenty of matches for the World Cup, and they can set a right combination before the World Cup, and they will get to know who will be their best 11. And I think right kind of strategies and planning. I think because World Cup is a very high pressure game. You'll get every game with very high pressure, so you'll be spot on. And I think and I hope that these girls can have a good time there and put up a good show for the Pakistan.
Well, that was Bisma Maroof, their former captain, speaking to me on the BBC Stumped podcast. Let's bring in Atif Nawaz, who's with us today as well for a little bit more on Pakistan specifically. Just to paint that picture about Bisma Maroof's retirement, because that came quite suddenly, didn't it? Just back in April in the midst of the West Indies series. So this is a team who are sort of doing a bit of rebuilding, losing, like England when they lose Catherine Brent. Like, she was a legend of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was a huge figure in Pakistani cricket,
not
very
inspiring.
Per se. No, of course not. Not a fast bowler. I've never seen her bowl, to be honest with you. That's not true. But she was a very inspiring figure. Just her story was so powerful, especially in a country like Pakistan, which hasn't always been the most encouraging of women's sports. Like, her story was phenomenal, to take a career break, go have a baby, come back, play at elite level in World Cups. It's phenomenal. She did have a different philosophy to Nida Dar, though. So Nida Dar has got a very aggressive personality, and I talked to Aisha Zafar about this week, because she's played under 5 different Pakistan captains now, and I said, what's the difference between them all, and tell us specifically about Nida Dar. And she said, well, she's very aggressive. That's her personality, and it shows in the way that we now play our cricket. She wants us to go for it. People don't fancy us, people don't think we're here to win any games, so we're going to play as hard as we can, go as aggressive as we can, and see if we can achieve something special.
You say they believe people are saying to them, you're going to struggle to win many games. And what do you think would constitute success for them when they get to the World Cup towards the end of this year?
Well, so every other T20 World Cup Pakistan's played in, they've never made it through the group stages. So they, just getting through that for a start, they will think that they'll have a slight advantage. Bisma, and actually, we just heard from both players talking about the slow bowlers that Pakistan have at their disposal. World-class players, highly ranked players as well. In Bangladesh, that's likely to prove in your favour a little bit. It's just about building a little bit of confidence ahead of that. If they can get some wins out of this series, even if they just take a couple of games off England, the highly rated, the mighty England side, right? World number 2. If they can take 2 games, they'll be over the moon.
What do you make of the changes, just as we see the mascots waving the red and white flags at the St George's Cross, and they're making a guard of honour as the umpires come out, Atif? I'll let you take it away, because you'll be commentating the start of the match. But yeah, perhaps run us through then those team changes, remind us the Pakistan lineup and just how they balance things up for this second of the 3 T20 internationals.
So Alia Riaz is a very aggressive all-round player, all-round batter and bowler. So she's going to come in place of Natalia Pervez, who didn't have a phenomenal game, certainly not by her standards, scored 4 off 3, but they were looking to push the run rate at the time. Ramin Shamim also goes out. She only scored 2 off 5. And in her place, Diana Beg will come into the side. Now, a lot of people thought Diana Beg was a shoo-in for the first game, but it was Wahida Akhtar who got the nod ahead of her. And I found out why. I was talking to some of the sort of the coaching staff, and they just really liked the way she was bowling in practice and in the practice match. In particular, there was one delivery that just beat the batter, the right-handed batter. It just moved a tiny bit and knocked the off stump out of the ground. And it was so striking to them. They felt like, we've got to include her on the basis of pretty much that one delivery, and it proved to be a masterstroke. I mean, Wahida figures of 2 for 20 from her 4 overs in Birmingham. That was very, very impressive, and I'm pretty sure she'll get a crack at that first ball again, the new ball again, very shortly. In fact, I can see her with a cap off at the moment. But yeah, I think they'll be very encouraged. They were on top a couple of times in that game against England in Birmingham. Obviously, the depth, the class that England have, you expect them to be able to rebound from difficult situations, but you have to ask those questions, and we'll see if they can create similar jeopardy for England today as well. Thank you so much, Ali Mitchell. We're going to see the first ball bowled very shortly as Catherine Silverbrunt alongside me. How are you, Catherine?
Yeah, not bad. Ready for the start of this again. There was a bit of carnage at the beginning of the last one, so I'm sure Pakistan will be hoping for the same result from their new opening bowler.
Yeah, indeed. So the top 3 in the last game only got 10 runs between them off the bat. Maya Bouchier 4, Danny Wyatt 1, and Alice Capsey 5. We know they're capable of significantly more than that. There'll be a desire to sort of just reinforce how good they are, won't there?
I think this opening bowler will be more nervous today than she was the other day.
Well, there's an expectation there now, isn't there?
Correct. And I think There's a certain from this end, especially, I think you get a little bit of skid. Normally, we've got quite a central part of the ground actually, which is pretty unknown for us. Normally, we're off to one side. There's normally a very short boundary, but no, we've got the luxury of a middle ground.
Yeah, big old square boundaries. Here we go. First ball about to happen. Wahida Akhtar runs in and bowls. A foolish ball's been flicked away towards the deep square leg region. I think that's going to run away for 4. It is indeed. There's a fielder in pursuit. Oh, she's pulled it back. Well, that is outstanding. She dove in front of her to throw that ball back into play. They managed to get through for 3 in the end. But what an outstanding piece of fielding there by Sadaf Shams, running to deep backward square leg.
Yeah, we'll have a little look at the replay on that, but I think she's done a pretty good job.
Ooh.
We need a different angle.
Yeah, we just saw a replay where she's flicked it back. Now, I think she's touching the...
4.
I think that's going to be 4.
A valiant effort, though. I love that. And that's what we noticed last game, wasn't it? There was a lack of good ground fielding from the Pakistani team. And that's off the first ball. Lovely little timing off Maya off the hip. Nearly went for 4, but... it did go for 4, but it was great effort from the...
They just have a little chat as well after that delivery, Maya Bouchier and Danny Wyatt. Maya just gesturing, that universal gesture with her hand that was just moving a little bit in, just coming in a little bit. Here's Wahida Akhtar now running in to Maya Bouchier. She bowls, and this time the ball's been cut sweetly in front of the backward point fielder. There is a cover sweeper already in place. And the throw will come in from the deep. They'll get through for 2 runs. Tidy piece of fielding by Sidra Amin out there at deep extra cover. That's a nice shot so far.
From the replay, it's just a nice little bit of a way swing there. Slightly too short, a couple of inches too short, and also some lovely width on show for Maya there. But it's doing some. So this first couple of overs are important.
Here's Wahida going a little bit fuller this time and just pushed defensively by Maya Bouchier to backward point. Diana Baig does the fielding. There is no run.
Much better length, that one, wasn't it?
You like that? I can tell your eyes
that.
just light up with a full length. You like it when people attack the stumps.
You don't want to bowl short at Maya. I've had this experience before. And then generally, the faster you try and bowl at her, the better she gets, which is a really good trait for your opening batter. She is not intimidated.
Here's Wahida Akhtar into Maya Bouchier again. This is short. It's been cut beautifully and powerfully past the backward point fielder. The cover sweeper is not in play. That's going to run away for 4. Terrific piece of timing from Maya Bouchier. She just rode the bounce and nailed it.
She didn't listen to me, did she? I said, do not bowl short.
Yeah, that's about as short as you can bowl it.
Yeah, that's bread and butter for her. She wants it there all day long. And I can sympathise with her because as an away swing bowler that I was, it really is. Sometimes I've had coaches saying you're swinging the ball away from the batter. You're actually swinging it away from danger. So you're giving them their hands. So I used to swing mine and get greedy around about leg stump.
Here's Wahida in once again, a bit full this time, and just played off the inside of the bat, back to the bowler who shapes up to throw the wickets down and then changes her mind. After that previous cut shot, by the way, an extra cover fielder's come in next to the point fielder. And there's already stacking that offside field at the moment, Pakistan. Which gives you an indication.
She's just offering that off away swinger's channel, isn't she? Which is not necessarily a T20 kind of thing to do.
Slips come out after 4 balls. Here's Wahida in again, and this time there's the ball taken outside edge. It's so close, it beats Bouchier as it just rises on her, and it goes through to the keeper for no run. So that ball was kind of incongruous with the rest of the over, really. England after 1 are 10 for no loss, all off the bat of Maya Bouchier. A pretty good start for England.
I'd say that Wahida's roughly around 5'1" in height, and she bowls with a lower arm. It's sort of quite slingy. She doesn't use all her height. She collapses on her back leg, and she delivers it from quite a low angle, which is not, our girls are not used to that. And so when they do eventually get that little bit of extra bounce, it does take you by surprise, and that's exactly what she did to Maya there.
Now, here's a player I know you're familiar with, Diana Baig, back in the side today.
Love Diana.
Yeah. I saw you guys in Birmingham exchanging like a very like a lovely greetings.
Bowlers Union.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a babe. I've got a lot of time for Diana. She's a lovely, lovely person.
Well, and she comes now running in towards Danny Wyatt. Oh,
and she's got the yips.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. She's also sporting a new hairdo, which I'm loving. She's growing it out a bit. She's got a bit of a
like a highlights thing.
Up down top knot going on. Yeah. It's great.
Up down top knot.
It's more scary than usual.
It sounds like a football formation. Here comes Diana Baig as Danny Wyatt happy to leave a length ball outside the off stump through to the keeper. It just dies a little bit on its way through to Maniba Ali.
That's that signature bit of a way swing from Diana. I was trying to talk about ends earlier, having played here a few times, and so the end that Diana's at is a little bit more skiddy and won't bounce as much. This end tends to bounce a bit more through naturally. When it's slightly uphill, it does bounce a bit more naturally.
Here's Diana with a slip in place, and she comes full. It's been driven on the up through the cover region. Again, there is a cover sweeper in the deep, and that throw comes in. It's Sadaf Shams, who's been busy already out there.
She's allowed to mistime it on her first ball. or second ball, I'll allow it. It's a bit uppish for me, but I mean, they're in the net. They are in the nets facing, Lauren Filer, Lauren Bell, a good 10Ks quicker. So it's going to happen until they get their eye in. First 10 balls always the most important time.
And some aggressive intent from England so far here in Northampton. 11 for no loss. Already a massive improvement on Birmingham, where they were 11 for 4. So 11 for no loss so far. Bouchier on strike now. She's on 10 not out. As Diana Big runs in from the pavilion end with a slip in place. She bowls, and that's been cut beautifully down towards deep third, where the captain Nidha Dar will field. They'll take a single. Lovely bit of timing that she's just finding the middle of the bat with such ease today is Maya Bouchier.
She's playing with confidence, and that's exactly what she did in New Zealand, even though it wasn't exactly a situation where she could be made to feel confident, because it's like, here, have a go, make sure you take your opportunity. So then you would naturally go within yourself and be a bit more anxious about the outcome. But no, she's just played the role, and without fear and with confidence, so it's impressive.
Here's Diana Big in again. Good length ball. Wyatt happy to just block that into the offside. There is no run.
And we've always known the talent there. It's just she's the type of girl who, she'd probably kill me for saying, but she's just in her own head. She's very hard to describe, but she can take things very personally and very say if it's said, you'll take that as gospel sort of situation. So she's quite a sensitive girl who will react.
Here's Diana Big in again. This has been smashed down the ground by Danny Wyatt. Is it going to go all the way? Just short of the boundary sponge to the far side of the ground from our angle here in the media centre. That was a shot of great authority from Danny Wyatt. Been a good over up until then as well. Just the one run off it until then. Two, I beg your pardon. And now it's gone for 6. 16 for no loss after 1.5.
I said I'd give her a couple more balls, didn't I, to get her eye in. I think her timing's there now. She's waited for that to be slightly over-pitched, and she's taken care of it almost all the way. And now Danny likes to go over mid-off, so maybe slightly still too early, a little bit.
Maybe. Well, here's Diana Big. Final ball of the second over. It's a slower ball, which has been guided to short fine. They're going for a quick single, direct it, and there's trouble. There wasn't one. Maya Bouchier actually made good ground in the end.
They are on the same page.
They are indeed.
Thank goodness.
17 for no loss after 2 overs. What have you made so far, Catherine, of this start by England? It just feels like that attacking intent is very much there.
Yeah, I think they've given themselves 2 balls, haven't they? They do say this at T20, like they say 2 or 3 balls.
Yeah.
They say the first 10 balls are like your most important, and then they also want to live by what they've said they're going to live by and how they want to play. So it's about getting the balance of that, but also communication. So we can see they've just run a really tight single there, and it worked out. So that I think that cohesion is happening between them two. I think there's just been a lot of talk and a lot of more thought gone in before this game.
Here's Wahida Akhtar for her second over. Now she's bowled her! What a delivery from Wahida Akhtar. It was full, it was fast, there was a big swing from Danny Wyatt, and she's missed it, but Wahida didn't. She's hit the middle stump, and Pakistan have a big wicket. That of Danny Wyatt, 17 for 1 England after 2.1 overs.
I don't know if that's my fault or not, just praising them a little bit, and then yeah, she's been impressive, hasn't she? But I don't want to give that to the bowler, because I just think, and Danny, her reaction says it all. She's played, her head's gone, she's played across the line to a good length on middle stump, and yeah, I personally think that was lack of execution, and she knows it.
Well, it's a big moment for Wahida Akhtar. She's managed to dismiss Danny Wyatt twice now in consecutive games, and
she's putting her hand up.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, she came in very much a last-minute decision from Pakistan to play her in Birmingham off the basis of just sort of form, net form, sometimes you hear about. She's performed brilliantly so far. She went for 10 in her first over, so that was a very strong comeback.
You know, I thought when I looked at the last game that their scoring options didn't do it for me, and it was like, right, you've got to learn quick, guys. So they got to sit in the dugout and they got to watch two really experienced people go about their business, and that's where these learnings are going to come from.
Alice Capsey, the new batter on strike. Here's Wahida. It's a shortish delivery which Capsey's tried to guide away but didn't get anywhere near really. In the end, it went through to the keeper. Yeah. There's no run,
and even though that was a lot, you could tell there was a lot of indecision in her head there. There's 2 or 3 things she went through before she just tried to poke at that. But I liked coming down the wicket because the keeper's back to a medium pacer and you want to face the ball on the half volley with mid on and mid off up. So I like the intent.
Here's Wahida in again. This is short and Capsey just rides the bounce, pushes it to extra cover. There is no run. And Capsey, a reminder, got 5 of 6 deliveries in the previous game. Just a little bit of unsettledness. That's not a word, is it?
But I think she's putting Wahida out of her comfort zone here too, because by no means is Alice comfortable, but she's now not bowling on the stumps. She's bowling back for length. She's not quite sure how to adjust. She's still quite inexperienced herself.
And she comes again. This is full. It's been guided nicely, but only as far as Diana Bega, backward point, and that's a dot ball. It's been wicket ... so far in this over from Wahida Akhtar, which is about as good a comeback as you can hope for after going for 10 in the first over.
Yeah, it is. It's doing a great job for her team. It's exactly what you want from a power play, is 2 or 3 wickets. And Alice was just motioning them with her hand as if there was a slight bit of movement. And I think like what you said about her impressing them in the nets, I think she's just getting the ball to talk a little bit where it doesn't normally happen.
Here she comes again, and again this time once more the ball has been pushed to extra cover and there is no run. Yet to be 1 ball to come in this over, no run scored. We might get a wicket maiden in the 3rd over, which again, it would frighten some teams, but it's worth remembering that England were 11 for 4 in the previous game and managed to put on 163 for 6 in their 20 overs. So early starts against England don't guarantee you anything. Here's Wahida Akhtar for the final ball of her 2nd over. She comes in and she bowls, been cut away nicely, and as it's half stop at extra cover, she threw herself at the ball there at extra cover, and
that was a lovely piece of fielding. That's much improved the other day. She's putting her body on the line for her team.
That's Gul Firoza with that fielding. A single was taken, so not a wicket maiden, but still very impressive. A wicket and just the 1 run off that 3rd over. England 18 for 1 after 3 overs. A reminder, this is the second in a series of 3 T20s and 3 one-day internationals where England will be hosting the Pakistan women's team. Big year, obviously, with the World Cup on the horizon in the autumn. So you can see Heather Knight sitting in the dugout, looking very, very relaxed, as she always is. She did never. I mean, even at 11 for 4 in the previous game, Catherine, she walked in as if it was just a walk, like just as if she was going for a little stroll. Just so confident and so unaffected.
She has to be, doesn't she? She's the captain. You have to be sort of level and patient and all the things I don't like being.
Here's Sadia Iqbal now into the attack from the media centre end, and her first ball's been mistimed onto the extra cover field. There is no run. Sadia Iqbal, the world number 3 bowler in the ICC T20 rankings.
Brilliant.
She'd had a chat with her a couple of days ago about her career and world rankings, and she told me something quite interesting. As the next ball's defended again, back to the bowler, there is no run. She said she didn't even know when she was at world number 13. She had no idea until her teammate Fatima Sana told her that, look, you're number. She looked literally
all over it.
Picked up her phone and said, look, hey, you're number 13 in the world rankings. And since then, she's tracked it all the way.
Yeah, now that screenshot is her WhatsApp picture.
Here she comes again. As that ball, there's a little bit of an appeal as it took a bit of pad. I thought it might have taken a bit of glove on its way through, actually, but 3 very tight deliveries so far from Sadia Iqbal.
She's a canny bowler, isn't she? She's just bowling that nagging line and length from wide of the crease, and it's just offering in, actually. A little bit of seam movement in off the pitch there. With the arm.
Bowling well.
Left arm round.
Keeping things very tight so far, Pakistan. Here's Sadia Iqbal, and again, down the track comes Alice Capsey, driving the ball down towards long on for a single. There's some applause here. It's a nice crowd in Northampton as well. We went down to one of our listeners today, a gentleman Oh, his name escapes me. I'll find out in a minute, actually. Alison Mitchell's very kindly told me. Aidan Cox has very kindly brought us a chocolate cake today.
Yeah, it's always cakes here, isn't it?
It's the TMS thing, what can I say?
Avoid all the, we
don't have to have
naughty things.
We will. We'll all have some. Here comes Sadia Iqbal again. That ball's been cut nicely to backward point. There is no run. So, Aidan, thank you so much for that. I hope you're enjoying the game downstairs. We went downstairs to say hello and offer our appreciations. And in the stand, I noticed there's a lot of support for Pakistan here in Northampton. Big turnout here as well. So
yes, when I was outside the ground.
As Iqbal is in. Another full ball driven beautifully. Well, she's timed that so well as Maya Bouchier. It was full, it was in the slot, and she slapped the ball all the way along the surface to the extra cover boundary for 4 to complete the second over. 23 for 1 after 4 overs, England.
Yes, lovely timing. I think Maya's quite calm. She looks fine, and she's just waiting for that. I mean, Sadia's a great bowler, but every bowler's capable of one bad ball and over, and she took care of it. It was like we've got someone there who is there, ready, waiting, and able to take care of it. So that's what we've got to keep doing, even though we might not feel in a good position. As long as we're jumping on these opportunities, then we'll be able to keep churning and ticking the scoreboard over.
Just spotted on the big screen in the ground, there's a graphic of Maya Bouchier leading the claps of the crowd. It must be so weird to be batting and see yourself leading the claps on the big screen. Here's Wahida for a third over as that ball takes an outside edge and goes past Muniba Ali and runs away to the deep third boundary. That was a chance for Pakistan. Could have been another big wicket.
Could Amy Jones have grabbed that?
Oof. Well, if anybody could, it would be Amy Jones, really.
And also, she's 5'11", so
Muniba not as much.
Yeah.
It did drop sort of. It wasn't really a chance, I'm going to say, because it was a good few feet wide of her. But as you say, if she was 11 inches taller,
it would help.
Here's Wahida Akhtar in again, and this time the ball's short. It's been pulled away, sort of mistimed that pull shot, but it might still run away to the boundary. It will indeed.
Always runs away fast here, always. Once it's gone, it's generally just, there's no chance, there's no point chasing it, and that has done exactly that.
Very strong is Alice Capsey. It was all muscle, wasn't it? It was all sort of power.
Can you see her sitting back, waiting for that just back of a length ball? She was waiting, that's why she almost missed that, because she's sat there sweating on it, waiting for it to happen, rather than being rather forward or back. There's been a lot of indecision, I think, with this top 3 batters, apart from Maya, to be honest, who's looked quite comfortable.
He's timing the ball beautifully so far as Maya Bouchier. England 31 for 1 after 4.2 overs, as Muniba Ali didn't have her helmet on for the last few deliveries. She's put it back on now because she's going to stand up to the stumps for Wahida Akhtar. Now, I wonder if that'll change the strategy at all for Alice Capsey. Here's Wahida, and this time it's short. It's been dealt with. Oh my goodness. It's been pulled away with some aggression.
Baseball.
Yeah, that's run away to the mid-wicket boundary for 4.
It wasn't even that short, to be honest, but like I said, she sat back sweating on anything slightly short, and that seems to be what's making her feel comfortable at the minute. She's actually even nearly stood on the stump. She's from the keeper's come up, and she's gone even further back into the crease. She's
nearly hit Muniba Ali, the keeper, with a backswing there.
It looks like she's just readjusted, and now she's in a normal position on the crease.
Oh, some nice shots here from Alice Capsey. Here's Wahida Akhtar again, full, driven nicely and straight, beats the bowler. Fielder's got a bit of a chase on here. Oh, that ball's kicked on so quickly and run away to the boundary for 4.
Is that Matt?
Of the over. Third 4 of the over for Alice Capsey. England 31 for 1 off 4.4. And like you said, Catherine, this outfield is lightning fast.
It's the Vitality matting with the dash hound on it. As soon as it hits that, you've got no chance. It goes like it's on ice. But that was a lovely shot. Sweet timing. She let the ball come to her, hands out. Nice. It was a lovely timing from Alice Capsey, and that's more like it. I think she's looking a bit more herself now, a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, well, he'd actually got fingertips to it, which tells you just how hard that ball was hit. Still went to the boundary. Here's Wahida Akhtar in again, going full and just dug out that time by Alice Capsey. It was sort of a Yorker-length delivery, which she's managed to keep out. Well, that's the first dot ball of the over. It's been 4-4-4 dot. Much better over for England so far.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that, like, take anything away from Wahida, because she's been very good, and I don't think she's done a lot wrong in these last 5 balls. And obviously she's gone for 16, but it's not she's not bowled that way, I don't think.
Here's Wahida in once again, looking for that full delivery. It's a full toss. It's been flicked off her hips by Alice Capsey to the backward square leg boundary for 4.
Apart from that ball.
20 runs off that over for England, and they all came off the bat of Alice Capsey. 43 for 1 after 5 overs, Catherine. I mean, I think we all need to take a little bit of a breath after that.
We do. Honestly, she hadn't bowled that badly up until that last ball, and I think she'd had enough by then, to be fair. So I know what it's like to go for 16 also.
Right, Catherine Sciver-Brunt's going to be with us throughout this series. And for now, though, we're going to replace one World Cup winner with another World Cup winner. Alex Hartley's going to be in commentary alongside me very shortly, as England picked up the pace in this power play. 43 for 1 off 5. Sadia Iqbal in once again. It's short, it's been cut, but only as far as cover. Good evening, Alex Hartley.
Good evening, good evening.
What a good start for England.
Yeah, it's nice to be back on the radio as well.
Yeah.
A lot more relaxed than that TV stuff, isn't it?
A lot more, yeah. It was very hectic the other day. I did enjoy it, but this feels like home, doesn't it?
It does.
Here we go. Sadia Iqbal in again. Down the track comes Maya Bouchier and just lofts the ball over mid-off towards that long-off boundary for 4. There was grace and timing in that shot. What a lovely bit of work, and she's looking outstanding today, Maya Bouchier. She's on to 19 off 11. England 47 for 1.
That's such a good shot from Maya Bouchier. She played it so well in New Zealand as well. Just shimmied down the wicket, gives herself room outside the off stump, so she almost goes down the leg stump line, up and over extra cover.
Here's Sadia Iqbal in once again to Maya Bouchier. A little bit shorter this time. Thick inside edge. Trickles out towards the backward square leg region. They're thinking about a second, but the throw came in quick from Sidra Amin, so they opted just to settle for the single. 48 for 1.
I tell you what, as a spinner, especially in the power play, when batters are capable of going up and over extra cover, it just throws you, because there's not really many other options you've got. You're targeting the stumps, you're going at the splice of the bat, but then she turns it into a full ball, comes down the wicket, so you really have to think about and almost be proactive with your bowling.
Here's Sadia Iqbal in once again. Back of a leg cut nicely, but straight to cover, and there's no run. She's good at squeezing these dot balls in Sadia Iqbal, but that last ball of the previous over, she sort of spoiled or run over a little bit. Just got put away by Capsey, who's looking really good. She's got that look of determination in her eyes at the moment. 22 not out at the moment. This is full. Big sweep attempted by Capsey, and no connection as the ball goes through to the keeper. Lovely bit of flight that time from Sadia Iqbal.
Yeah, and I think it actually stayed a little bit low, to be honest. I have to wait for the replay, but it was a big old ugly heave across the line from Capsey, and it just shoots under.
There's Iqbal with the final delivery of the power play. And she comes full, driven nicely, straight to mid-off this time, and there's no run. So a tidy-ish over that in the end from Sadia Iqbal, just the 5 runs off it, but a decent power play for England. They end up on 48 for 1 after 6 overs, with Danny Wyatt the only wicket to fall. But 8 runs and over in the power play, Alex. It's a pretty decent comeback after the previous game.
Yeah, it is indeed, and when you actually look at the shots that have been played, there's been a lot of dot balls in that as well. There's not been much strike rotation, so a lot of those runs have been scored from boundaries. There's some good shots from England that are looking to be aggressive with the bat, as we heard in the media over the last week or so.
We have indeed.
It must be a bit strange for the players having almost a week between the games.
It was strange, wasn't it? Because it was like a 6-day gap.
It's like, oh, the international season started, but we'll have a break.
And the Pakistan team spent that whole time in Northampton.
Oh.
So, I mean, not to say anything negative about Northampton, of course. It's a lovely city. 6 nights, though. Diana Bigg, here she comes. This one keeps a little bit low. It's been pushed nicely by Bouchier, only as far as extra cover. There's no run.
Well, the England girls all got 3 days off. They got to go home for a few days, so I suppose you can't do that when you're on tour, but...
Yeah, a bit of golf happening. I've spotted Heather Knight's Instagram story.
Everybody loves golf these days.
They do. And now you do as well, Alex.
I know.
You were the last remaining hope for the non-golf chat. And how you're going to be all about tees and birdies and pars. Here's Diana Bigg, and again, not lovely shape on that delivery. It's been pushed defensively by Maya Bouchier to mid-off for no run.
Yeah, look, I won't go too much into my golf game, but I am a good putter.
You're a good putter?
I sunk 3 25-footers yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that good? I'm not really a golfer.
I've put it down to a lot of first dates playing mini-golf.
It's a nice activity. Here's Diana Bigg into Maya Bouchier, who flicks this ball uppishly out towards deep backward square leg. Bit of work to do for Sadaf Shams out there. She gets the throw back in, and it's just a single. What have you made of the Pakistani bowlers so far today? I mean, they've as you say, it's difficult sometimes when there's an onslaught of attack, but I feel like they've kept their heads more or less.
Yeah, I don't actually think they've bowled too badly at all, bar that one that Catherine jinxed and it went for 4, that full toss. I actually think they've bowled pretty nicely, but England have been on the counter-attack and looked to manoeuvre things and, I guess, find boundaries in alternative ways.
There's Diana Bigg in once again. Down the track comes Capsey. She plays that slightly uppishly, but wide of the fielder at mid-wicket. They run through for a quick single, and that brings up the 50. You can probably hear it from the extremely loud announcement person here in Northampton. 50 for 1 after 6.4 overs.
Decent crowd in today as well.
Yeah, it's been great.
There's
lovely.
Queues for quite a way when I was pulling up to the ground earlier.
Here's Diana Bigg in once again. Full driven on the up and just short of the fielder at mid-off. It makes a shy at the non-strikers then, just for good measure. Do you know, Diana Bigg, if you had to guess who she was named after, if you had to take a wild guess who Diana was named after, who would she be named after?
Mr. Bigg or Princess Diana?
Princess Diana.
No.
Mr. Bigg, yeah. I think that one was kind of, no choice, but her mother was a big fan of Princess Diana, so she named her Diana.
That's sweet.
It's actually very, very common in Pakistan. There's a lot of love for Princess Diana, and the Duchess and various members of the royal family. They really like them. But that's how Diana got her name. Here she is now, Diana Bigg into Maya Bouchier. A dipping delivery there, which is almost like a slower ball, which just dipped, and it was driven out towards deep extra cover for a single. 7 overs have now been bowled in this innings. England 51 for 1 after 7 overs. Alex Hartley, a few thoughts from yourself, and then you're going to be joined for the very first time today by a very esteemed colleague of ours, the recent recipient of the Christopher Martin Jenkins Broadcaster of the Year Award, Melissa Story. And we're very, very proud of you, Melissa. I'm sure I speak for everybody on the team. Alex Hartley, your thoughts on the game, and then Melissa's going to be alongside you.
Yeah. Congratulations, Melissa, actually. I've not actually said that to you in person. It was very rude. Catherine did. But no, it's been a good start from England, hasn't it? And you can see that both batters are looking to accelerate. They're coming down the pitch. They're trying to take advantage of the slower bowling, the slower balls that are being given to them. They're trying to create that pace and that power themselves.
Hello, Alex.
That threw me there. I thought Fatima Zana was bowling. She wasn't hello.
Not yet. I feel a bit like Kevin the teenager whenever Artif tries to embarrass me like that. I'm throwing my arms around and looking all embarrassed.
You shouldn't be embarrassed, you should be proud.
I know.
You are proud, aren't you?
Got to carry the trophy on the tube at rush hour, showing it off to everyone who absolutely loathed me during their commute. Here comes Fatima Samana, then bowling a shorter delivery, which is skidded through, flicked off the hips and down towards the boundary there by Bouchier, who timed that so sweetly. Again, England just finding the gaps, moving things along nicely. And that brings up 55 runs now, just for the loss of 1 wicket. That's Danny Wyatt bowled in the 3rd over for 6.
It was just pure timing that from Bouchier. Yes, the ball was angling down the leg side, and just flicking it around the corner, straight out the middle of the bat.
So she's got a deep backwards square leg, deep 3rd, long on. As Fatima bowls again, skids onto the bat of Bouchier, who works it down the ground. This time they get through for a single. 56 for 1.
Yeah, that deep square fielder has come slightly finer, but I actually think it wasn't the best delivery, so you almost don't want to follow the ball.
Deep cover out now as well. Does it surprise you that Pakistan have bowled so much seam early on? With England showing those vulnerability against spin, which we saw last summer against Sri Lanka in September.
I would 100% bowl spin at England.
As Fatima bowling again, this time on the stumps. It's drilled back to her, fielded in her follow-through, dot ball.
Not only for the fact that we know that England have struggled and that they've had batting camps out in India to get better at playing spin, but also when you look at who's opening the batting, they've faced a lot of seam bowling. And I think, do they want to hide their spinners for the World Cup, or are they thinking the seamers are their best option to get batters out?
As Fatima past the umpire now, over the wicket, bowls in swinging to the pads of Capsey. She flicks it wristily out towards deep backwards square. They consider the second, but stay with just the single. 57 for 1 the score. 2 balls left in this over.
And we've seen how important spin is in women's T20 cricket, in all T20 cricket. When T20 cricket first came about, We thought it might be the death of spin bowling, but actually it's gone the other way. And we saw England get back into the game against Pakistan with their spinners. Yes, they've got 3 world-class spinners, but I think spin is the way to go against England and against Pakistan.
Certainly going to be an interesting World Cup later on this year in Bangladesh, as Fatima bowling on the back foot this time as Boucher. She punches it past the bowler into that vacant region mid-on. They get through for another single, 58 for 1, because we can expect these kind of slightly lower turning pitches. And as you say, I mean, if you look at the England women's or English domestic game and how much spin dominates, where you've got some teams, I know the Vipers this season have gone into games with 4 or 5 spinners and have really taken the pace off the ball, made things difficult.
Why do you think I retired? Everyone's getting so good at bowling spin.
I feel like I made a wrong career choice. As Fatima's in now and working this one to mid-wicket is Capsey. Can't beat the fielder, who imitates a throw at the stumps. 8 overs gone, 58 for 1 the score. Then Boucher on 28 off 20, Capsey 24 off 22. And it's been a good start. Here you go, we should have got you involved with this. We're getting t-shirts thrown into the crowd. Fancy showing off your arm?
Do you know what? I've got a really bad shoulder. And
is that from the golf?
I couldn't throw last year. And sort of underarming the ball in cricket games and throwing like 3 or 4 a game, and it's really sore. And I forgot about it, and I've just started going back to the gym. In case you don't follow me on Instagram, you wouldn't know.
Drop that one in there.
Yeah, and I can't do press-ups. It's still so sore, and it's been like a year now.
I can't do press-ups either, if it makes you feel better.
Yeah,
but I never could.
They make me feel hench, so I'm just not doing them.
Nothing wrong with being hench?
Not for me. Not for me.
So Nashra Sandhu into the attack now. She bowls a full delivery, and Boucher on the front foot, driving towards extra cover. Slow left arm. Got a packed ring field on the offside.
Be interesting how Maya Boucher plays this with, as you say, everyone on the offside up, and she's so strong over that extra cover region.
As in comes Nashra, who bowls on the pads of Boucher. She works it down the ground calmly. They jog through for a single. Score to 59 for 1. I guess interesting with the left arm as well. She's got to be really careful here not to give away too much width. Targeting the pads of Capsey. But she has shown already that she's prepared to go for those bigger shots. Maybe Pakistan just protecting the leg side a bit. As Nashra's bowling takes the pace off this one, floats it up, and it's defended by Capsey into the offside for no run.
That was a tempter. That was take the pin out and lob it up and see where it ends up.
Will she try it again? You can almost see Alice Capsey's eyes light up. There's Nashra in now, and there's a reverse sweep from Capsey. She's got something on it because it's got past the keeper. Doesn't beat the fielder though, as they just get through for another single. 60 for 1, the score for England, of course winning the toss, electing to bat first here at the county ground in Northampton. Second T20. England winning that first T20 at Edgbaston by 53 runs. As Nashra is in, advancing down the pitch as Boucher, and just slaps it down towards long on. 61 for 1 the score now.
So where have you put your trophy? Centre of the mantelpiece, or?
I've actually got it next to the TV.
Yeah, I thought, nice.
Yeah, just so I can look at it every evening. It's in the background of all my Teams calls for work as well. Got to get it in there. As this one a bit more of a drag down, and getting on behind it as Capsey pulls it out towards deep mid wicket. Protection on the boundary keeps that down to just a single, and it's the end of the 9th over. 62 for 1. But you've got to take it out for walks, at least 2 a day. Feed it regularly.
You must have people, queuing up to have selfies with you now when you're carrying that trophy as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a bit of a reputation building now, personality building in Bristol.
You have got a reputation building of a brilliant broadcaster.
And someone who can draft you a will on the sly, don't forget. For legal reasons, that is a joke. So 62 for 1 England. How can Pakistan find this breakthrough?
Yeah, I think spin's the right way to go, to be honest. I know I've said it like 3 or 4 times, but you just look at that previous over. Just target the stumps, take the pace off the ball.
As Fatima in for her second over, is going for it this time down the ground airily, and just lands short of the fielder. They're coming back for 2, and almost a collision there between Boucher and Capsey as they come back for the second. In the end, a bit of a wayward throw in meant there was no risk in that second run. 64 for 1.
Capsey at her best hits that for 6. You can just tell she's slightly out of touch. She's not scored runs for a while, but at her best, that flies over the boundary. Just got it on the top of the bat a little bit, so she replays the shot when she gets back to her mark.
As you say, she almost got a bit too underneath it, and it's similar to that dismissal in the first T20 at Edgbaston, where she almost went down on one knee, just managed to sky the ball in the air. As you say, didn't get much behind it. This time, mid-wicket's gone back to the boundaries. Fatima's bowling, advancing down the pitch as Capsey drives it, but straight to mid-off for no run.
I think now with short third, the ramp is on, but there's not much pace behind the ball. So it's almost one of those... Nat Siva-Brunt plays it so well, where she almost steps outside the off stump and hits it behind square.
That's the thing, you've got to get a bit of oomph behind it as well, and it's become my favourite thing to say now in games. Well, not so much that, just I'm like, go on, ramp it. You know you want to.
I love a boundary. I love a ramp.
Fatima comes in now, shorter ball, and takes Capsey by surprise as she almost jams the ball into the ground. Don't know if she's been watching Challengers, new tennis film. It's a bit of a tennis shot. Have you seen it?
No, I've never heard of it.
It's a very good film.
Is it?
It's a very good depiction of how to make a sport which is quite stop-starty, a bit like cricket, quite exciting. And the key, to put sympathy-based music in the background.
Right.
Makes everything more exciting.
Do you think that's why we've got so much music at cricket?
Maybe. It does help sometimes, depending on the DJ. As Fatima is bowling and coming down the pitch again as Capsey. This time doesn't get all of it. Bit of a slog in the end out towards deep mid-wicket, but she does get a single. 65 for 1. And Fatima only gone for the 10 runs so far. She's been using her slur balls, using her variations. She just waits at the top of her mark. Boucher getting ready. Again, as Alex remarked, both third and fine leg up in the ring. It's Boucher deep in the crease. A slower ball almost beats Boucher there. The bowler with her hands over her head. And a grimace from Boucher, who just didn't pick that one at all. Good deception.
She's not picked that at all there, Maya Boucher, has she? It's the cutter. But it came out more like a back-of-the-hand slower ball, so I want to see that again, because the pace on it was almost like it was a back-of-the-hand slower ball, but it was more of an off-cutter.
If in doubt as a bowler and someone almost says to you in the nets, was that a slur ball? Just say yes, even if it's just because you're tired. As Fatima in now, and this time with a full-pace delivery, beats an advancing Boucher. They come through for a quick single, and in the end, Capsey running to the danger end, safely home. Throw a good metre away from the stumps in the end. Halfway point now then, and England 66 for 1. So they've got plenty of wickets in hand. Maya Boucher 30 off, so 29 off 29. Alex, I guess when you look at the kind of scores in women's T20 cricket at the moment, particularly the most recent series, you know, where Australia, India are playing, we're seeing scores around 180, sometimes in excess of 200. Do you think this series is a good opportunity for England to see just how many runs they can score? Because I think they've got their second highest T20 score against Pakistan. That was in the last T20 World Cup. They scored 215 for 3. Should they be aiming for a little bit higher than, you know, these 160, 170 scores?
It's not, you can't aim for a score. You have to take each innings as it comes, but it is definitely an opportunity to almost go out and have some fun and learn how you can manipulate certain bowlers. Because I think this series, you know, last time we saw Pakistan here in 2016, we broke so many records against them. You know, it was, I don't want to say it was too easy, because that's not, I don't mean it disrespectfully, but we were so much better than they were, and I think we still are, but Pakistan are slightly better. So against their better bowlers, I'd like to see a little bit more aggression and see if we, you know, we can push those scores. But sometimes it's almost harder with the slower bowlers as well. You've obviously got to find that power on the bigger boundaries, and you know, when you come up against India and Australia, potentially New Zealand in World Cups, you almost have to find a way. But 160 can be a winning score as well. We don't know what the pitches are going to be like in Bangladesh as well. You know, we're talking about these low, slow turning pitches. You're probably better off asking Catherine. I'm sure she's been there. I haven't. We might turn up, and because it's a T20 World Cup, it might be belters.
Well, exactly. It's kind of that unknown, really. And the good thing with the T20 format as well being so unpredictable, that if you're likely to have any upsets, then it will be likely in that format. If you wonder why we're not describing the cricket, it's because the players have had a short drinks break at this halfway stage. 66 for 1 England. I guess, as you say as well, Alex, just in terms of adapting to the conditions out there, even though we've been seeing higher scores around the world on some belting pitches in India and Australia, 160 might be a really good score when you go over to Bangladesh. Alex has left us though now.
Yeah, she's had enough.
She's had enough.
So, yep.
But we're rejoined, as you can hear, by Catherine Sivabrunt. What have you made of it so far? How are Pakistan going to get this breakthrough?
With a bit of canny bowling. Sometimes a little drinks break does create something. I don't want to jinx them again, but you know, that little break in play will certainly give them a little refresher, time to have a little chat, get everyone together, get the leaders in, get a bit of what have you seen, what do you recommend. Hopefully, the captain is responsive like that.
As Nashra Sandhu is into the attack, and a great bit of fielding, extra cover. There's going to be a run out here for England. Fantastic work from Pakistan.
That was an exceptional piece of fielding by Diana Baig. That was unbelievable. That was goalkeeper style. She was in sort of floating extra covery region, full length dive, took it over the right hand clean, got up. She almost released the ball to the wrong end, realised they were both at the non-strikers end just having a little chat, and then launched it to the keeper.
As you say, it was that crucial moment there. Just taking her time. Diana Baig, great bit of work from her at extra cover.
If you want to know how they were going to turn this around, that's exactly how. First ball after drinks. They've got our best batter out, who's in arguably the best form of her career to date.
So Maya Boucher goes for 30 off 26 balls run out by Diana Baig.
And that's what it takes to get Maya out at the minute, an absolutely exceptional piece of fielding. And I can't blame anyone in that. I can't blame Alice, can't blame Maya. It's just a brilliant piece of fielding from Dan, and yeah, she's done the job for Pakistan.
And sometimes moments like that, as you say, they can inspire the people really around you to say, look, this first half may not have gone exactly to plan. We did get that early breakthrough of Danny Wyatt, which was great for Pakistan because we know how dangerous she can be. But now that they've got this breakthrough straight after lunch, they've got an opportunity here just to find a few more wickets. But the new batter in the middle, Nat Sivabrunt, as England 66 for 2. Sivabrunt on strike to Nashra, who's bowling outside the off stump, and she cuts it through the offside, away for 4 runs.
I feel almost a bit like I'm cheating when I say what a glorious bit of timing, because, why wouldn't I say that? But it was. Off the back foot, Nat's strong point. Everybody knows she's at her best when she's off the back foot. And lovely straight back push.
And it's that risk me and Alex were speaking about with the left arm spinner bowling with a offside field entirely up, that any width, and
it's criminal to bowl a ball like that to somebody on their first delivery.
Particularly
can't do it.
A taller player like Nat, who is able to open up that offside as she looks to cut the ball again, this time down the ground to long off.
Lovely straight bat. Had she chosen a cut shot, that would have been certainly out. You just can't. When you get a new batter in, you absolutely have to put them in under pressure from the ball one. And she just released Nat's pressure straight away.
Nashra Sandhu is in and sweeping his caps. He takes a quick single to short fine leg, and goodness gracious me, what has happened there?
Oh, no.
The throw-in from the fielder at short fine leg has hit a rough part of the pitch. One of these used wickets here at Northampton.
I think it hit Nat's bat.
Has it hit the bat?
Yeah, it could possibly, and that's why Nat didn't move anywhere.
Okay, that would explain it more, because the ball absolutely ballooned into the air. I thought it would hit a part of the pitch.
If that was the wicket, I would have said, let's all cancel the game, let's go home, it's too dangerous.
As you say, it came off Nat's bat, and actually the angle, it flew off it. If that was a ramp shot, that would have flown away to the boundary. But in the end, as you say, England not running, unfortunately,
I'm glad that didn't
go for 4.
That would have been cruel.
Sure. Is in now then, flatter delivery, back in the creases, Sivabrunt works it out towards deep mid-wicket, and again England just contemplating that second run.
And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling quite stressed about the whole running situation at the minute. There's a lot of... We're normally not this loud and vocal when we're running between the wickets.
I'm always stressed, but that's just me as a person.
Well, I'm stressed
because
Hill's batting, but...
This, combined, we're quite stressed up here. As this time, Capsey makes good contact with the ball, slaps it straight to Baig at extra cover, and there's no run. 73 for 2 after 11. Plenty happening in that over. Sivabrunt on 6 off 3, Capsey 30 off 31. So just an eye on Capsey's strike rate there as well, which is only just dropped under 100, but she'll be wanting to accelerate a bit more towards the end of this innings. But she's got a foundation, which is important.
And the way she can do that is by watching how Nat went about her first, let's have a look, 3 balls. What she can take from Nat off the back foot here, because a sign of a very good batter is how they play off the back foot. You watch how Nat plays, you watch how Amy plays, you watch how Alyssa Healy plays. Now, at least Perry, because Perry didn't used to play off the back foot as well. She's very much a cover drive sort of girl. But if she's watching at the other end, Nat's first 2 balls, that cut shot, if you like, was with a straight bat. And she managed to get enough power to go through.
Nida Dar into the attack, and this one's a slower floated delivery, which is worked down towards long on and then by Siva Brunt for 1 run, 74 for 2.
And then when the ball was straight on her, she straight batted it up the ground for that 1. And Alice tried to do the same thing off the last ball, but with an angle bat, with a proper cut shot.
Nida Dar bowling a full toss this time, which Capsey sweeps out towards the 2 fielders on the leg side boundary. It'll just be a single again. 75 for 2 now. I mean, Alex mentioned, or I think it was certainly mentioned earlier, that England had found the boundary a lot, but actually weren't rotating the strike as much. So you say that something Siva Brunt here will look to implement in her innings, as Nida Dar again bowls a full, very slow delivery, which is driven out towards wide, long off.
It's so hard to get a full point in with all this cricket being played.
It's the spinners. They get through.
I know, they need to just
quickly
have a breather. My point is that the way Nat plays with the straight bat for these back foot shots is that she can manipulate the gaps.
Nida Dar is in, and she's advancing down the pitch, and Capsey, she's been stumped. The finger goes up by umpire Anna Harris, and the 3rd wicket falls for England. Capsey, who just looked under a bit of pressure, goes for 31 off 32. Nida Dar, the bowler, taking all pace off that one. And Manib Ali behind the stumps, whipping the bails off. England 76 for 3.
I think she actually yorked herself. I'd like to have another little look, but I think she got to the actual ball and ended up yorking herself. And it's actually gone away slightly off the pitch as well, which is it's gone. I felt like it went under the bat, but it's not actually. It's gone off the outside edge, so she's out, caught behind and stumped.
Well, it was good from Manib Ali there, because she's made sure that she would be out either way. I think the confused look on Alice Capsey's face was probably because of it. And also Manib Ali, the keeper for Pakistan, looking at both umpires at square leg and behind the bowler just to say, please, that one was definitely out. But it is. They found their 3rd wicket, 2 after the drinks break now, and the England captain, Heather Knight, coming into the middle.
At that point, obviously, when an off-spinner's ball, this is what can get you sometimes with, if you like, mystery spin, because when they're not out and out spinners, where the revolutions on the ball are prominent, then anything can happen, and Heather Knight bowls the same. And with that, she should not be bowling the ball away from the bat at this point. It should just be turning in, but that went away, so that's what got Alice.
So a slip's come in now for Pakistan. Deep square, deep mid wicket, long on, long off the fielders on the boundary, as Nida Dar is into Heather Knight. It's a low full toss, which she drives to extra cover, fielded by Baig, but
another new batter and another let off. They need to get better at this. It's such an important time. The first ball's got to be one of your best.
As you say, that first delivery to Siva Brunt, that boundary, it instantly settles you a bit as a batter, as this time on the pads, worked away by Knight out towards deep mid wicket. Fielder racing in from the boundary rope keeps it down to just a single. And the score 77 for 3 after 12 overs. England going along at a run rate of around 6.4.
Yes, I think for me, the batting, what they can learn from our experienced batters and, the best in the world is it's not all about aggression, power and muscling the ball around the park. It's about timing and footwork, and Nat, Amy, Heather have that in abundance. So this is what they need to be looking at, and I hope they're looking at it from that perspective, not looking at it and thinking, oh, you look like you're batting on a different surface. It's not about that. It's about, well, how did they go about it? What kind of shots did they use against that bowler on this wicket? And I just think those learnings are going to be crucial rather than just sticking to power hitting.
Anna Baig in for her 3rd over now. Is in bowling to Heather Knight, who's struck on the pads. Might be a bit of bat in as the ball trickles into the onside. They scamper through for a quick single. 78 for 3. And I know we're speaking a lot about the World Cup, of course, coming up in Bangladesh, but as you say, I think when England men recently toured as well, I think they did have to change their batting style, their white ball side, because they were going for these bigger shots and lots of boundaries, and realised very quickly that these were the kind of pitches they would need to accumulate on, and potentially didn't quite adapt quick enough in some circumstances. But when you have the experience that, you know, the likes of Amy Jones, Heather Knight have, then, as you say, this is the kind of patterns the younger players need to follow. Just to confirm, that last run was a leg by. A bit of confusion there between umpire Sue Redfern and the scorers, some signalling to each other in the air, as Diana Baig is into Siva Brunt, who's hitting the ball nicely straight to extra cover on the back foot. No run.
And that's what Maya Boucher is doing, as the youngster, watching, learning, is that that shot over extra cover was with a straight bat and with great timing, great hands. And that's an aggressive shot, but it's well controlled and timed, but with power and aggression. So these are the sorts of ways of playing that we're going to have to nail by Bangladesh.
As in comes Baig, and it's a shorter ball, which she goes on the back foot to Siva Brunt. It's a straight ball.
That's a good sign for Belly later. I hope she bowls from this end. Like I said earlier, this is the end, the media end, that you get that extra bounce. Diana's not tall by any means, she's probably my height. From the other end is the skiddy end. And she just literally hit the pitch there a little bit harder, and it just rose up to the splice, didn't it? And not quite a controlled pull shot that she would have liked.
It was just a single down to long on in the end, as Baig is in again now. It's a slower ball which has floated out of the hand. It's a low full toss, and she's whipped it out towards deep square. Finds the fielder, run taken, 80 for 3. So if you were out there, would you want to be bowling from this bouncy end or the skiddy end?
Well, I'm known for being a skiddy bowler. I always chose the pavilion end because I liked to run the ball back in and let it keep low and skid through quicker. So people would naturally, with my action, because I bring my head down quite quickly, they would think I would bowl shorter. But I actually am bowling at a good length of 3/4 of the stump height, so I would get them like that.
As Baig is in, and this time full, worked off the pads but straight to the fielder at mid-wicket for no run. Just that last ball, third, being brought up inside the ring, and now both long on and long off back. So whether she's going to be exploring these slower balls for the final ball of this over.
I just wish she'd string them together better. It's very confusing. She gave Nat a short ball into the pitch, which actually worked out quite well, but then she gave Heather a slower ball. She needs to be stringing these together, sim batsman.
As Baig is in and on the hips of Siva Brunt, who tickles it past the short fine leg fielder down to the boundary for 4.
Used all of the pace there, didn't she? All of it. She just helped it on its way.
Just straying in her line there, Diana Baig, letting that pressure just go at the end of the over. But England 84 for 3 after 13. And to take you through to the end of the innings, Catherine Siva Brunt is going to be joined by Alison Mitchell.
Yeah, a lovely bit of timing off her legs there. Diana just gave her one stump length past leg stump, and Nat took care of it. But that's what it's going to take to build a great score here. We have to take everything we can from this moment on, because I know they're going to want to post a big score. This is a ground that's renowned for quick outfields and fairly flat. So you do get your rewards for your shots, your timing of your shots. So I would love to see a 160 again, and they're more than capable of doing that from this point.
Evening, Catherine. Here is Nida Dar again to Heather Knight, and she's clipped this through square leg, sets off for a single as the throw comes in from the deep, safe into the gloves of Muniba Ali, Pakistan's wicketkeeper, and England 85 for 3 then in this 14th over. A very pleasant evening it's been here as well, hasn't it? Good crowd in here at Wantage Road.
I don't know if it's muggy out there, but it's muggy in here.
Something to do with our aircon. We have got aircon. Dar in again. Brunt to thump it into the pitch, and it's well stopped by the bowler. Throwing herself to her right-hand side, almost colliding. In fact, I think she might have fallen a bit awkwardly. Dar as well there, maybe just on her elbow. Almost collided with the non-striker there. Heather Knight has helped her up.
Got to put your body on the line. They've been much better on the ground fielding, haven't they, today? Much better.
Well, when you think of the run out of Maya Boucher, that was a standout moment so far, isn't it?
It's just crucial. It just goes to show how you can change the momentum of a game. And
it has, picking up that second wicket as well. Capsey's not long after. So from 66 for 1, England was 76 for 3. Now building on that, reverse by Siva Brunt, up and over for 4. What a shot that is. Welcome back to the England side. That was spectacular.
That was proper. She wasn't interested in hitting that on the ground. You don't often see this in cricket, but a reverse sweep up and over
It's gone behind point.
Yeah, it's lovely. Takes a lot of timing and bravery, that shot.
Absolutely, out of the screws. How will Dar respond? She's in again. More conventional sweep this time. Hasn't got hold of it. Dribbles away towards short fine leg. Finds the fielder. There's no run to be had there. 89 for 3 in this 14th over. Siva Brunt, 17 from 12.
She was on our podcast the other day, and funny situation interviewing your own wife, but
you're going to have to get used to these things now.
One of the questions was, and I kind of wanted to know anyway, because I don't ask her these strange questions, but I said, how do you think you can be better, even though you're the best in the world?
Good question. Dar in. Siva Brunt is back, forces it up to mid-on misfield, and they think about a single, and they don't. Probably
never
wise.
run on a misfield.
The throw-in isn't clean, though, either. It has to be gathered by Baig in the end, in the mid-wicket region, but in the cover region, rather. But on we go. 89 for 3, dot ball. So what was her reply to that?
I don't want to
get better?
Say anything about Heather, but she does love to create a run out, doesn't she? I mean, that is not the time
Let's
to
not
be
have
running.
you jinx anything else. Dar in, getting down low for a strong sweep past the square leg umpire. A single for Siva Brunt. Throw comes back in on the bounce to the keeper. It's the end of the over. Then Siva Brunt 18, Knight on 3. So 90 for 3 after 14 overs. This after Heather Knight won the toss, opted to bat. Remember, this is the second of the 3 T20s. England won in Edgbaston, so if they can win here, then they've sealed the series with another game still to come at Headingley on Sunday. We'll be there for that as well. And all the in-play clips can be found on the BBC Sport website and app. So if you want to see the run out of Marboucher that we were talking about earlier, do go back and have a look at that, because she'd made 30 off 26 balls and then drilled the ball to extra cover, whereupon Diana Baig went for a full-length stretching stop, almost with her fingertips.
Yeah. Schmeichel-esque.
Picked the ball up, threw it back in, and Boucher, having attempted a single, was trying to get back into her ground and couldn't make it. Inspired piece of work. New over, muscled away to cover, straight to the fielder though, can't get it through. Siva Brunt throws her head back, thought that was a certain boundary.
So that's one of the things, on my point, how to get better. And Hayley Matthews plays that shot, but aerially.
Get it over the top of the fielder.
And this is something she's talking about creating more opportunities.
Sandhu again with the spin, drilled past extra cover this time, that's 4 all the way, it can't be cut off by long off, he raced around to left-hand side. That's found the gap.
Yeah, I'll give you some context on both those shots. So we just saw first, she drilled both with equal power. The first one disappointed, smashed it straight to the fielder. Second one made a slight adjustment and found the gap. That's just class. If that was me, I would have hit it straight to the same fielder both times.
That's why you bowled for a living.
That's why I bowled. Hey, I was all-rounder, Ali.
Sandhu around the wicket with her left-arm spin. Sweep attempt, it dribbles away off pad. Keeper picks up. And so there's no run.
So to just add to that point, because I haven't actually finished my point yet, these bloody spinners.
Blooming spinners, I think that was, wasn't
spinners.
Apologies.
Yeah, so finding ways to be better. So that is one there. And she said the other one was trying to be a bit like Joe Root.
Sandhu is in. Goes back, goes deep in the crease, and that's misfielded by Baig this time for 4. And that should have been stopped right on the edge of the circle. She didn't have to do the sort of fantastic stretch she did for that save off the bat of Boucher. But yeah, that's that kind of look I'm seeing from Nashra Sandhu. I've seen that from another bowler somewhere in the vicinity over the years. That was a withering look towards
just
her teammate there.
Keep on your toes, will you? There's no forgiveness when you're a hero after one piece of fielding and then you miss a straight one.
Sandhu in again, 98 for 3 England. Back deep in the crease again. Finds that gap once more, squeezes it through the covers this time. 4 more. And Siva Brunt, 26, extends that to 30.
Yeah, it's too easy. Unfortunately, Nashra's just she's not got the line right at all. She's offered up line to Nat outside up the off stump, and being as good as she is off the back foot, you absolutely can't bowl this line and length. It's just easy pickings for Natalie all day long.
She's so powerful in that area.
And that other point on the on Joe Root, we all know the shot I'm talking about, reverse sweeping the seamers. So it's the seamers, not the spinners, because we know she can do it against spin. But yeah, she would
Covers
be
being sent back deep here because Siva has been so strong. Only 1 ball left in this over, however. It means that
now she'll bowl down leg and get swept.
Deep again, pulls it through the leg side this time, and that's just where protection has been stationed on the boundary, so it saves the 4. Did we get to the end of your point about
I'm not sure.
about your wife?
Well, Maya Boucher started doing it, didn't she? And she reverse swept Ishmael.
Yeah.
And she was bowling quick that day, and it went for 6. And she had this little, wry smile on her face. She knew what she'd done, and that was like, I fancy a bit of that, just to create some more shots if I haven't got enough. And so the power hitting over the cover from spin to muscle it, and those reverse sweeping the seamer, she wants to bring into a game. And these are the types of things. She doesn't want to just be reliable and go safe and get herself 50 off 45 balls. She wants to get 100 off 40 balls. She wants to be able to do that bit too.
She's setting the bar higher and higher.
Yeah, exactly. So if she can come in and have a platform to do that, she wants to make it happen.
You're going to make way for Alex Hartley, who's slipping back in alongside me here. We've had 15 overs then, so 5 more overs for England to push their target. 103 for 3, so stacks of wickets in hand. Amy Jones to come in next, then Danielle Gibson before the bowlers. So a little bit more spin here. Left arm spin of Sadia Iqbal, and Siver is scything away. Caught at point though, aerially. And Siver is out. That's a huge wicket for Pakistan now to be celebrating. Fatima Sana with the catch. And she's tossed the ball up in the air in glee, because off goes Siver Brunt, 31 from 20. She was looking very dangerous. 103 for 4 now, England in the 16th over. Alex Hartley, a little bit of light for Pakistan.
Yeah, she was looking dangerous. Siver Brunt there looking to go through the covers, but it was just outside that arc of the off stump. She was looking to drive the ball through the covers. Just slices the ball in the air, and it loops up to backward point. It takes a pretty simple catch. It's a good knock from Siver Brunt. To say she's not played cricket for a while, she's hitting the ball with ease, and that's a huge wicket for Pakistan. It's no wonder they celebrated in the way that they did.
Well, Amy Jones comes out fresh from her 100th T20 international cap in the last game at Edgbaston, where she played a really significant hand in that partnership alongside Heather Knight, the captain. They put on 67 for the 5th wicket after England had slumped, remember, 11 for 4. Well, they've avoided that in this second match today, and there is a platform, 5 overs left. How well suited is Amy Jones going to be to this sort of scenario now, Alex?
Yeah, I think we've seen Amy Jones come in the back end of a lot of 100 games and really set the world alight. So she might take a few balls to get herself in, but she's capable of hitting boundaries from the off.
So Sadia Iqbal continuing with her left arm spin. 3 fielders in the ring on the offside, 2 on the on, so 2 fielders deep on the leg side and long off in place as well. Driving forward, Jones can't get it past extra cover. Bogue is there to field. Floodlights have started to come on here at Northampton, and just away in the distance a hot air balloon has just disappeared beyond the pan-tiled roofs and the slate roofs of all these Victorian terrace houses, which keep this ground really snug as it's really nestled inside the housing here in Northampton. She's gone for a little reverse, very, very fine, tickled past the wicket keeper. Jones takes one, thinks about a second, but the ball's fielded on the edge of the circle, and Knight wisely said no, stay there. England 104 for 4 in this 16th over then. Jones off the mark. Do you know about the Northampton Balloon Festival, Alex?
No.
It's quite famous. Quite famous. It's a site as well. I presume it's still going on, because when I was brought up in Northamptonshire, and Northampton was my going out town and everything. I worked at Radio Northampton, the BBC, where I started my career, and the Balloon Festival is this amazing spectacle, and we used to get in our cars and we'd drive the country lanes, almost sort of following all the air balloons. Knight facing up, can't work this one away, finds extra cover, and there's no run.
Is that first thing in the morning or last thing at night?
It would sort of go all down. They must have gone up early in the morning, I guess, and they would drift off. But it was all, I think it was held at the Northampton, the race course ground, big sort of festival area. And it was like, we used to take the radio car down there with BBC Northampton. Heather Knight sweeping fine again, but finds a fielder on the edge of the circle. Throw comes in, but it's wide. The keeper hasn't even gathered it. It'll be fielded in the deep, and there are no overthrows. Amy Jones had actually run so far sort of past the keeper, she wasn't able to turn and think about a second run. But fielded at fine short third on the edge of the circle. So 105 for 4, the score remains 1 ball to come in this over. Jones hovers over her bat. It's a fuller delivery, driving down the ground to long on. Single is taken, and the throw comes in to the bowler's end. So 16 overs gone. 106 for 4. Jones 2, Knight on 4. Bouchier made 30. Wyatt was bowled for 6. Ball that she played all around, really good length delivery. Capsey 31 from 33 till she was caught behind off Dar, and Nat Siver Brunt dangerous for her 31 off 20 before she hit to point to be caught off Sadia Iqbal. Was that tight? If that'd been an accurate throw, it would have been gone.
Yeah, long gone. Wasn't even in the frame. Yeah. It's Amy Jones, so a tight throw there, she would have been gone. But Sadia Iqbal's bowled so nicely. 3 overs, only gone for 13 runs.
It's tight, isn't it? Now Diana Beg's got another one here. The umpire is speaking to Nida Dar, the Pakistan captain. I wonder, this can't be anything about timing, because they were very slow, weren't they, with their over rates in the first T20, and it meant they were penalised a fielder outside the circle. But we're coming to the start of the 17th over here. I don't know whether she might have been telling her you're a bit behind. We haven't had an indication of that yet, but there was quite a bit of gesticulating going on from Sue Redfern, the umpire, explaining something to Nida Dar. She's got 4 fielders are still outside the circle at the moment, and it will be Diana Baig to continue. Sets off long run, waiting for a heave down the ground by Jones. A couple of bounces, and long on is in position to cut round to right hand side. There was a run out chance really. Heather Knight wasn't quite quick enough. She had to try and hit the foot on the accelerator, and again another direct hit. She could have been in trouble.
Yeah, had Diana Baig picked the ball up cleanly there, I reckon that was close as well for Heather Knight, but she backed herself to run 2. Wants to up that run rate now for England. It's just dipped below 7 runs and over.
Can England capitalise on these last few overs? Jones awaits and Baig is in with the keeper well back. Full ball, gone through her, underneath the bat, through to the keeper, well bowled, getting it right up there.
Yeah, really well bowled. It's almost a wide line Yorker there for Diana Baig. Amy Jones looking to sweep the ball into the leg side, and almost too full for her to do so.
Can I give you another bit of local knowledge here,
always.
given that we're watching Diana Baig? And did you hear Atif say earlier that she was named after Princess Diana?
Yes.
Did you know that Princess Diana's brother, Earl Spencer, was president of Northamptonshire County Cricket Club? In goes Baig. Slower ball, and Jones waits for it, drills it along the ground out to deep cover. It's just a single. Fielder's there to throw the ball back into the keeper. Yes, Earl Spencer was president here for quite a few years, up until, I'm going to say about 2009, I think, passed on the baton.
Today's been a real learning day.
There you go.
Hasn't it?
There you go.
I'm going to be a Northampton specialist by the end of the day.
Of course, the Spencer home, Princess Diana, where she grew up, is in Northamptonshire. Here is Diana Baig moving in. Knight awaits, the bat held high, lofts down the ground towards long off. Fielder is underneath it, takes the catch, and Heather Knight is gone. And that is Wahida Akhtar with the catch, and Diana Baig clenches her fists, knowing that they've got the England captain trying to get things moving, Heather Knight, but she's out for just 4, having faced 8 balls, and England in the 17th over are 109 for 5 and in danger of letting these final overs fizzle away.
Yeah, they are indeed. I was just thinking England could do with upping the run rate and going at least 10 runs and over in the back few overs here. Heather Knight, obviously, that in the back of her mind, looking to go down the ground, but a slower ball from Diana Baig is just chipped down the ground by Heather Knight, and a simple catch taken here at long off. And Pakistan got themselves into a pretty good position here. They'll be backing themselves if they can bowl England out or keep them to 1-3-5, that they're really in this game. But Danny Gibson, she'll be a big wicket for Pakistan, because she was brilliant the other day in her 41 of just 21 balls.
Yeah, it was a great partnership, wasn't it, with Sophie Eccleston, who's yet to come in as well. So we know that she can be really effective in a T20 when there's not many balls left in a match. Was it Derby last season where she absolutely creamed the boundary and hitting 6s for fun? So here is Gibson facing up, waits for again a bit of a slower ball from Baig. It's a single out through the covers, and Nida Dar moves across to her left-hand side to pick up. Floodlights are just starting to take a bit more of an effect now, aren't they? We've got some shadows beneath the feet of the Pakistan fielders. Yeah,
you can almost tell they're on now, rather than when the game first started, you're thinking, no, they don't need to be on yet.
Didn't feel like that, did it? Ice cream van still doing a good trade, though. That's nestled in between the old football stand. It's still here at the county ground. Baig moving in. Jones waits, creamed over the leg side, nobody on that side of the ground, on the deep 4. Cross-batted shot, pulled across the line with some aplomb. Amy Jones carrying on the good form she had at Edgbaston, 9 from 7, 114 for 5 after 17 overs.
Yeah, good shot that from Amy Jones to finish the over with a boundary. Slower ball from Diana Baig. It starts outside the off stump, but just drifts in towards the stumps. Amy Jones has to almost hit the ball from underneath her, up and over mid-wicket for 4. For me, that's the back end of your over, back end of the innings. As a seamer in particular, you need that deep mid-wicket out, and it very, very rarely will you see the top teams have their seamers bowl at the death without a deep mid-wicket.
It's leaving a little bit exposed. Nida Dar to come on. She's bowled 2 overs, picked up that 1 wicket of Alice Capsey, conceded 10 from her 2. With manoeuvring going on in the field here as Gibson is waiting to face up. So no short third, being moved across to short fine leg inside the circle. There is a deep mid-wicket here. It's spin from Dar. Hooked across the line, it's into the ground and then out towards deep mid-wicket. Spins a bit on the bounce. The fielder did well to read that. It was one of those that then gathered pace after it bounced on the ground. They're horrible, aren't they? Comes back into the middle, 115 for 5.
Everyone shouts, spin, spin, because the second bounce you know it's going to do you. So you almost have to get it after the first bounce. But Danny Gibson's so good at playing the conventional sweeps and the reverse sweeps.
Dart is in. Short dark hair reverse from Jones. She's found that gap just in front of point. Running away to the boundary. Will it be stopped? Yes, she's done well. Diving. Now they're looking for a third here. Has it gone to the right end? The keeper was almost taking that mid-pitch. So it was a bit of a nothing throw. It didn't really go to either end. And the keeper threw towards the bowler's end. But Amy Jones was safely home by then. But a good bit of work to save the boundary nevertheless.
Yeah, it was almost a switch hit from Amy Jones as well, past the fielder, and a full-length dive. I think it's Fatima Sana out there.
Dar is in again. Quicker ball here, coming forward, drops into the offside, isn't able to scamper through for a single, and Dar's picking up off her own bowling. And she's looking sort of keen and eager, isn't she, Dar? I like the way she walks the end of her mark with some purpose.
I'm the captain.
Yeah, she absolutely has that sort of presence about her. Over the wicket. Fuller delivery, work down the ground to long on. Gentle single taken by Gibson. Moves her on to 3. England 119 for 5.
Now I'd love Nida Dar to come over the wicket, round the wicket. Round the wicket.
Yes, she's coming over at the moment. Just change the angle up. Driving is Jones up to extra cover, finds the fielder, no run.
Still confused me because I'm the odd one out, left arm spinner bowl around the wicket, so I always get confused. So she needs, for me, if she comes around the wicket now, really cramp Amy Jones for room, then she can't hit through the offside, and it's almost harder to play that reverse sweep.
She likes playing it, she plays it very well. It's a quicker ball down the ground. Long on is there, picks up securely. They add 1. That's the end of the over, so 12 balls left, the minimum, 120 for 5 after 18. If another wicket was to fall, that'd bring in Charlie Dean, then Sophie Eccleston, Sarah Glenn and Lauren Bell. England with just the one change was Nat Sciver-Brunt's return to the side, which meant that Freya Kemp has missed out today. But that was a sparkling innings really from Sciver-Brunt, wasn't it? And just a shame that her wicket, from England's point of view, fell when it did, because she just looked so dangerous.
Yeah, she looked like she was about to accelerate, didn't she? And she was unlucky in a way with almost slicing the ball to backward point. It just shows how good she is. She hits the ball so hard.
Well, Sadia Iqbal took the wicket of Nat Sciver-Brunt. She's back now for this penultimate over of the England innings. Pakistan made 3 changes. So their lineup, it was really shifting around the bowlers. Here is Sadia Iqbal, left arm spin from around the wicket, bad onto pad, and then out towards short fine leg, no run as the ball comes in. It's the time now for Pakistan to try and keep England down, because that run rate's only 6.6 as things stand. But a couple of big overs from England could really change the complexion of things. But otherwise, I think Pakistan at this stage would be, they can keep it this tight. I think they've done a pretty good job against this England side, ranked number 2 in the world. Slower ball, full toss, batted back down the ground. There's a bit of protection here. Wahida has slipped, but she's still managed to hold on to the ball. Will they come back for 2? Hesitation, could be another run out. Well, she's got back in time. The ball came to the bowler's end, and Amy Jones had made a good few strides down the pitch, as had Gibson at the other end. That could have been another calamity for England in the run-out stakes.
It could have been, couldn't it? It was a good bit of fielding in the deep. She did slip over, stands up, throws the ball back towards the bowler's end, but Amy Jones manages to get back safely. Good calling actually between Jones and Gibson there. Gibson sending her back, because off the bat you think that's always going to be 2.
Felt like it, didn't it? It's such a quick outfield that it kind of reaches the fielder quicker than you might expect. There's like a quicker delivery, finds cover, a little bit of a juggle in the stop, but saves the single. Throw comes back into Sadia Iqbal.
She got away with that one. Outside the off-stump cover up.
Drilled, no. As if a metre either side, it was a certain 4. Sadia Iqbal, 28 years old, in again she goes, makes some room here to hit square, behind square, where there's a gap out to the deep. There's some protection in the deep in that region though, so only a single for Gibson. She looks like she felt she missed out a little. I think she was trying to get a bit more in front of square and access that area. Said in front of the old football stand, because it was the home of Northampton Town Football Club for many years. Can you believe that a first-class cricket ground shared a ground with a football?
Wow.
Football. Sadia Iqbal goes in. Just wouldn't happen now, would it? Into the offside, squeeze it underneath the bowler. Needs a direct hit. There's no one up the stumps, and she's home. They're through for the single. But again, that was another tight one.
Amy Jones has been involved in about 3 or 4 run-out opportunities here. Direct hit there. Amy Jones again would have been miles gone.
That was Diana Baig, who was responsible for the run-out of Maya Bouchier. So she really would have got the skates on. Jones, quicker from Iqbal. Some width there, drilled through the offside for 4. Gibson's found that gap between cover and extra cover, and there was no stopping that. That ball raced away. 127 for 5 after 19 overs.
Just tried to get out her over there, but with the wrong option. She's gone quicker outside the off stump with cover up, and the easy shot for Gibson to manipulate the ball through the covers. What she should have done to get out her over there, it was an arm ball on the wide line, outside the wide line actually. Should have taken the pace off and gone at Gibson's legs. Probably would have been knocked into the offside for one. So good finish to the over for England.
Well, who's going to finish things off for Pakistan? Nida Dar, the captain, has the ball in hand. So she has the responsibility of trying to keep these two down. Jones 15 from 13, Gibson 8 from 7.
Sadia Iqbal only going for 20 in her 4 overs, so it's well bowled from her.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? And picking up the key wicket of Siva Brunt as well. So protection on the inner ring, 3 in the circle on the offside, 2 on the on. 2 fielders at deep mid-wicket. Use of the feet, missed, stumped. Good work from Maniba Ali. And Nida Dar holds both arms aloft. In the final over, England have lost another key batter, Amy Jones, who had the potential to do some real damage off these last 5 balls. Has just missed one.
Yeah, she has. Comes down the pitch and just completely misses it. A big old swing. Nida Dar just hanging the ball outside the off stump. And a good take by the keeper, shot out by a country mile as well. Yeah. So Amy Jones couldn't quite get going today. She's first 14 balls for her 15. You just felt like that. She just couldn't find that boundary that she needed. We were talking about big hitters and how Sophie Eccleston, I think it was South Africa she took apart at Derby. Yeah. It was an outstanding bit of batting at the death, and now Eccleston's got a huge opportunity here with the remaining 5 balls.
There was Charlie Dean on the score sheet to come in ahead of Eccleston. It doesn't surprise me at all that Eccleston is walking out now. I'm just trying to see whether, Charlie Dean, according to scorecard, would have come out in this situation. Sophie Eccleston is the one to strike it big if she can. But I'll tell you what, Pakistan will feel like they can tie England down here. They have got a fresh batter. How quickly can Eccleston get her iron? Because this light's not that easy, is it, at the moment? Because you're in that real twilight, half and half sort of period. Dar in, then Eccleston using her feet, goes up and over extra cover. There is a fielder in the deep, moves across in front of the pavilion to field, throw back into the middle, and 2 has been taken. So 129 for 6 in this final over of the England innings, with Heather Knight winning the toss earlier and opting to have a bat first. She did comment on the pitch looking a bit green, saying it might skid on a little bit.
That's an incredible stat. Sophie Eccleston is on the leading wicket takers in T20s already, having only played 80 games.
She's quite amazing and skillful. And here, just a little chip dink for 4 through the onside, just using her feet, nonchalant as you like. Does she play golf, Alex Hartley?
She does.
That just looked like an easy little chip onto the green.
She plays a lot of golf, does Sophie Eccleston. She played yesterday, she probably played this morning. Her and Alice Capsey are a duo on the golf course, and this one, just pure timing from Eccleston. She gets herself into a brilliant position, head over the ball, chips it over mid-wicket, and it races to the boundary.
Well, long on is in place. There are 2 mid-wickets very split, very wide apart on that leg side, and she found the gap perfectly down the ground. In the air and down to long off this time. Couple of bounces into the hand of the fielder. And another one is taken. The score 134 for 6 in the 20th over. I mean, it's easy to sort of forget like the age of Sophie Ecclestone, because it feels already like she's been around for so long, and because all the accolades she's got, the number of wickets she's got, she's the number one bowler in the world, and she's only 25.
80 games for Ecclestone, she's on that list.
2 more balls to come then. Gibson this time. This is big. Down the ground. It's 6. Over the advertising hoardings. That's one for the crowd. The fire goes into the air. The 6 placards are held aloft. 140 for 6 and Gibson on to 14. What a blow.
You know it's a good shot when the umpire smiles. Anna Harris there, arms in the air with a little grin on her face, because that has gone miles from Gibson.
Well, this is the over England wanted to finish the innings. Here is Dara in again. Goes to reverse this time. It's aerial and it's going to be 4 more. England will finish on 144 for 6, and that is an excellent assault on the last 6 balls of this match by England. Yes, they lost Amy Jones, but Ecclestone with a breezy 7 from 3, and Gibson clearing the boundary 18 from 9. Good bit of back-end hitting to close things off on a really positive note for England. 144 for 6, Alex Hartley.
Yeah, good finish there for England, Sophie Ecclestone and Danny Gibson, that last over, exceptional. That's what you want as a captain, a coach. You want your players to go out there, play with freedom, almost have nothing to lose. But it's almost a game-changing over that for England, because at one stage you were thinking 130, 135, and to manage to get 144 on the board just gives them that extra little buffer.
That's the first 6 of the series, isn't it? There wasn't one at Edgbaston.
Was there not?
I don't think there was there?
There we go.
Yeah, well, Danny Gibson has done the job on that front. Well, do you think this is a winning total for England now? 145 the target for Pakistan.
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be a tough ask for Pakistan. We saw them get off to a flyer in the power play in the last game, but it was almost the run rate climbed and almost put the middle order under pressure, the back end under pressure. The back end of their batting order under pressure. So I think if England can get off to a good start with the ball and get that run rate to climb up to 8s, 9s as soon as possible, then England will cruise to victory here. But Pakistan, if they start the way they did against England in the first ODI, England will be under a little bit of pressure.
The players are coming back out then for Pakistan to try and chase down the 145 that they need. So Alex, so you can give your thoughts on just really how that England innings sort of shaped up. And then Melissa Story, award-winning commentator Melissa Story, is with us to pick up commentary at the beginning of the innings.
It was a peculiar innings from England. It was almost, they've got a decent score on the board, but there was never a moment where you go, oh, that's the moment that they're going to really kick on. And they've ended up having a really good last over, and that was where they've got 10-15 runs or so. But there was never I don't know, it was a funny one. They've accumulated 144 out of nowhere.
As you say, that final over with a few runs, and then of course that third Wahida Akhtar over, which went for 20 because of those boundaries from Alice Capsey. If you take away those, then it does look like a quite under par score. We were speaking outside whether there might just be a few demons in this pitch which England could look to exploit. Certainly Lauren Bell, with the new ball in hand, will be looking to find any swing there might be out there. But 145 for Pakistan to chase. I mean, would you say England are still favourites at this point?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too much for Pakistan. They're going to have a good power play, which they did in the previous game. Lauren Bell's changed her hair and it's really thrown me. She's not got her T20 hair in.
Is the T20 hair the plaits?
The plaits, yeah, and she's got the ponytail and the fringe out. It looks brilliant. She looks great.
It always does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, if you look like Lauren Bell, you always look good, so she could wear a bin bag.
So she's got the slip in place, deep square, deep fine leg. She charges in now, bowls onto the pads of Hiba Ali, and it's worked down towards the boundary. That fine leg. Single to the total. Just wait for the call from umpire Sue Redfern. I think that's come off the bat. So a bit of swing early on for Lauren Bell. Floodlights on now. It's a good night here in Northampton. Good crowd. Plenty of encouragement for both sides. We've got some Pakistan fans in who have been making lots of noise every time they kept taking those regular wickets. As Bell charges in now to Amin. That one's wide. She has a go at it. In fact, almost loses her balance as it goes through to Amy Jones, but nothing from umpire Sue Redfern. That felt a little bit harsh there, Alex.
It's almost like umpire Sue's forgot to put her arms out. That was for me, it was a wide. Shame you can't review them in this.
So that first run was leg by. for Gulfarosa, who was on strike. There's Sidra Amin now. So 1-0 the score after 2 as Bell. Past the stumps now, full defended by Sidra Amin. And she's been on target pretty much so far, Lauren Bell. It's been quite remarkable me seeing her grow and progress as, you know, England's frontline bowler now from, of course, the company in our commentary box today with Catherine Sivert-Brunt and Anya Shrubsole, who regularly joins us here on BBC Test Match Special, to now see Lauren Bell almost step up to what's a really kind of big role, and she looks so natural in it now.
Yeah, she does. She'll obviously have days where things don't go as planned, but she learns quickly.
She's in now over the wicket outside the off stump and slapped away through the inner ring, and that'll race away for 4 runs. No protection on the offside boundary, and Sidra Amin gets her first runs. Pakistan 5 for none.
There's not a good ball that from Lauren Bell, just short and wide outside the off stump.
And nicely, Sidra Amin there just using her feet, coming down out of her crease just a little bit.
Sorry, I'd stopped talking because I wrote on a napkin to Catherine Brunt there, no swing, question marks. And why is she not swinging the ball?
As Bell is in now, again cut, but this time nicely bounces into the hands of Point. It's a dot ball. And with 5 gone, score 5 for none.
I mean, because we're used to seeing these big hooping in swingers from Lauren Bell.
We are used to that, Alex. I just want to question why, with 2 pieces of paper in front of you, you went for the napkin.
I didn't want to ruin my notebook.
Next time, do you want me to lean out my arm and you can use that instead? I think it might be more effective.
This is going to stay as my women's notebook for the summer, so I just don't want to get rid of it, ruin it.
It's very optimistic. I say that at the start of the season. As Bell is in, again using her feet as Sidra Amin, and she finds the fielder at extra cover. No run, first over gone, 5 for none. Pakistan, that target of 145. As you say, they're going to need a good power play, but Bell keeping it tight that first over.
Yeah, she did indeed. Just didn't bowl as straight as she normally would. But it's, as we say, you know, it's a learning, this, isn't it, for the England team, and it's the right time to, I guess, sort of change things and try and implement different things. And maybe she was just, I guess, when the ball's not swinging like you used to, you have to adjust your line, and that one that was crunched through the covers just wasn't adjusted.
As you say, she's a quick learner, because I guess if you look at her development, particularly in the domestic game, from developing those slower balls to more recently having that bouncer, which is a pretty nasty delivery, of course, with Lauren Bell's height. She's 6'1", and so it comes through quite rapidly in the end. Now Charlie Dean from the pavilion end with the new ball in hand. So England introducing a bit of spin early on as Dean is bowling into Gulfarosa, and she pushes it back to Dean for no run.
Yeah, just changing things up slightly, England, from the last game. They opened with Lauren Bell and Danny Gibson, but both bowlers were pretty expensive, so just changing things up with Charlie Dean.
As Dean skips in now to Feroza, who's sweeping and beats Lauren Bell at short fine leg. Danny White races round from deep backward square, scoops the ball in inside the boundary cushion, but they get back for 2 runs. 7 for none Pakistan. First runs for Gulfarosa there.
A good little shot as well, just helping the ball around the corner.
We might. I've just got an indication from Arthur Nawaz at the back of the box that it is drizzling outside.
How? It's sunny.
There's Charlie Dean bowls a flatter delivery. As Gulfarosa pushes back to her. No run. I was distracted by the rain.
You shouldn't comment on a lady's weight. It was a flatter one.
It was definitely a flatter one. Now we'll try and establish if there is a bit of rain out there, because I'm not quite sure I'm trusting Arthur Nawaz yet, as this time looking to pull, hits it just a bit too straight and can only find the fielder at mid-on. It's another dot ball. It hasn't quite been the fireworks Pakistan have needed just yet. I mean, as you say, Alex, it is light out there, but
there's no umbrellas.
No. Maybe it's quite a nice summer rain. Maybe everyone's enjoying it. As Dean flights this one a bit more, it's swept square of the wicket and out towards Wyatt at deep square leg. Just a single. Score moves to 9. Apologies, 8 for none. I don't think it's raining. I think Arctic is lying. But he's nodding his head. He says it's biblical storms. It's remarkable. As Dean is in now and cautiously prodding that one back down the pitch. Second over completed for England. Pakistan just 8 runs on the board. A target of 145. Going to need to start trying to take some risks, because going along at this rate, not going to get anywhere near to that. Just 3 runs off that Charlie Dean over.
No, they won't. And we've seen in the previous game just how important spin is, and the England spin, how good they are as well. So I like starting with a spinner in the power play, and Charlie Dean always gets the hard overs. She'll always bowl in the power play, but it's something that she's done.
Though,
yeah, she's done so well for England.
That's Lauren Bell, top of her mark for her second over, running away from us. Blonde ponytail flailing behind her, as this time looking to play the big shot. It's in the air, square leg running in, takes the catch, and it's Maya Boucher with the safe hands. First wicket of the night for Lauren Bell, and England get a breakthrough as goal throws it goes. Pakistan score 8 for 1.
Yeah, a little bit of swing there for Lauren Bell as well, as we didn't see in the first over. That ball just coming back in towards the right-hander ever so slightly. She's looking to go over mid-wicket and ends up just helping the ball around the corner straight to Maya Boucher, and takes a pretty simple catch.
As you said, just took the almost top part of the bat, and she never really got much on it. Maya Boucher, one of the best outfielders you'd say in the country at the moment, and she was safely underneath that one. Felt like the big shot was coming though, because that pressure was building, and of course it's the position you get yourself into when you're chasing. You know that run rate which is required, just over 7 for Pakistan. I'm sure it's already gone up to closer to 8. And coming to the middle, Sadaf Shamas, 25-year-old. Got a big ask for her today, but just an average of 9.6 in T20. She'll be hoping to improve on that one. Slip in for Lauren Bell. Mid-wicket, closer in as well in a catching position. Bell skips at the top of her mark. Runs in to Shamas, who goes at that one outside the off stump. It goes through to Jones. Nice carry through.
Looked a little bit quicker, that one from Lauren Bell, didn't it?
It's fun because she is quite a fiery bowler, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Her celebration was just so polite. She kind of like put her hands in the air and smiled like an Animal Crossing character.
Thank you.
Thank you. But then that next delivery, as you say, it had a bit of fire in it. And as you say, as she gets more experience and she grows as a bowler, she will naturally just get a bit more pace. As this one full, driven, but without much timing, and Eccleston charges in at mid-off. It's another dot ball. And Sadaf Shamas, well, she's got to find a way to at least rotate the strike, find a boundary. And it's one thing England, I guess, were guilty of in the power play. They didn't really rotate the strike as much. They were mainly hitting boundaries, but later when Nat Siva-Brunt came in, Maya Boucher, they did start to rotate the strike a bit more. Pakistan just need to make sure they don't get too bogged down here, as Bell is in and the back of a length delivery. Again, Sadaf Shamas just taking it high on the bat. She looked as if there was a single there. In fact, it just dropped into the offside, and Bell was able to field in her follow through. Looking a bit frantic here in the middle, Pakistan.
Yeah, just a little bit, but Bell now starting to get some decent shape on the ball. It's that late swing, which I think is something that Bell's been trying to work on. He's getting the ball to swing later, so it's almost less predictable.
Was at the top of her mark again. She runs in now over the wicket, bowls and down the leg side, signalled wide by umpire Sue Redfern. Adds a run to the total for Pakistan, 9 for 1. Of course, you can catch in-play highlights on the BBC Sport website and app, and there'll be full highlights of this second T20 on the BBC iPlayer later on. Lots of cricket for you this summer on the BBC. Of course, after this T20 series, got the ODIs, got the Pakistan men coming over as well. As Bell is in again now, bowling to Sadaf Shamas, and what a catch! Danny Wyatt at point takes an absolute screamer, and Pakistan have lost their second wicket. It's Lauren Bell again, and this has been a dream start for England.
She's crunched that, absolutely crunched it, but Danny Wyatt diving to her left-hand side takes a pretty decent catch. The ball just outside the off stump, looking to cut the ball. Danny Wyatt diving away to her left. There's great reactions from her.
And it was at that awkward height as well, where just for that moment she had to decide whether to go fingers pointing down, fingers pointing up. And when she's not on the boundary, you do see her in that point position, and she is so good there. Sadaf Shamas goes for a 4-ball duck. It's the bowling of Lauren Bell, caught by Danny Wyatt. And that target of 145 for Pakistan, looking even further away now. Just going to show, as we said, even though spin is so dominant in particularly women's T20, when the seamers have that new ball up front, it's why it's almost so crucial to capitalise with it and get those wickets, because, you know, it can play into the batter's favour. It's a new ball, it's hard, it comes off the bat nicely, but actually, as you say, there's swing out there for Lauren Bell. She's hitting her areas nicely and aided by a great bit of work from Danny Wyatt.
That was a great catch, wasn't it? Wasn't quite as good as the run out by Diana Baig in the first innings, but it was up there.
It was. She's got a silver medal at the moment in the game. There's always time. As Maniba Ali, the new batter for Pakistan, the left-hander, as Bell comes around the wicket and fires that one down the leg side. 10 for 2, Pakistan score.
Well, 2 slips in play now for Lauren Bell, who swing the ball away from the left-hander. I like the aggression from Heather Knight. So opens more gaps for Namiba Ali.
I don't see 2 slips in the T20 too often. I do like it.
No, I love it. Get a gully in as well. Why not?
Get someone under the helmet.
You laugh. Eccleston had that last week.
As Bell is in, this time wide outside the off stump of the left-handed Namiba Ali. Just this left-hand, right-hand combination, throwing Bell off just a little bit.
Yeah, playing for Thunder with Sophie Eccleston. It was a 50-over game, but you very rarely see that as well. And she just was, you know, she gone for about 12 runs off 8 overs. She thought, let's have somebody under the lid.
Would you be keen to go under back in your... Because I feel like people are either super enthusiastic or it's their worst nightmare.
I practiced it once.
As Bell around the wicket, bowls and just finds the thigh pad of Maniba Ali. Trickles down towards fine leg. Single to the total. 12 for 2. 3 overs gone. 145 needed by Pakistan.
So I practiced it once, and it was when I was with England, and Mark Robinson did this, I'm going to put it in quotes, fun training session. It was my worst nightmare. It was slip catching, silly point, leg slip, and then short leg. So I'm stood at short leg practicing, and the one comes to me and everyone's like, come on Al, you ready for the next one? I'm ready, I've got my hands down on the floor, I'm in position, and he just hits me on the head. I've obviously got a helmet on, but my reactions just aren't good enough.
Just bonk to the head.
I just can't do it, so it was not for me.
Well, I got given some very good advice for when you are close catching, which I would recommend to anyone, only if you're prepared to look like a little bit silly in the process. As Charlie Dean is in and bowling to Maniba Ali, who looks to late cut that one but can't beat short third. Lauren Bell patrolling there. Is if you're up close, of course, you've got to protect your teeth. Just kind of pout, but blow out your cheeks a little bit so that you're kind of stood in slip like a puffer fish. As Dean is bowling a full toss on the pads, flick to short, fine leg, but can't beat Glenn this time. 2 dot balls in a row. So if you're stood at first slip and it's a little bit scary. I had to stand there once because we had no one else over the age of 16 in our team. It was terrifying. So you've got to pout. As defending this time, Maniba Ali angles the bat so that the ball trickles into the onside. They scamper through for a quick single. 13 for 2 the score. The plus side as well is that you look great whilst doing it.
But surely, as captain, which you are,
I was,
you can just put a kid in slip and go, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's character building. Flatter ball from Dean and cut nicely through the inner ring. Bisects the 2 fielders and goes away towards those Pakistan fans. 4 runs, a much needed boundary. Sarah Glenn, who was down on the ground then, made a desperate effort to stop the ball. It was a good shot.
Yeah, needed boundary for Pakistan. Just the cut shot past Sarah Glenn, who dives for the ball and just dives over it in the end.
Sidra Amin on strike, down the leg side from Charlie Dean, spinning past Amy Jones, and a bit of work for Lauren Bell, who gets the ball safely in within the boundary. Pakistan come back for 2 runs. And a bit more happening this over for Pakistan, aided by a bit of loose bowling in these last 2 from England. Those wides from Lauren Bell and now Charlie Dean.
Yeah, there was 3 in the last over from Lauren Bell. There's turn there for Charlie Dean though, which is encouraging.
That's one thing about Charlie Dean. If there is turn out there, she'll certainly find it. She gets so many revs on the ball. This time a drag down, and it's pulled by Sidra Amin, who was down on one knee. Just a single this time, but she finds Danny Wyatt in the deep. 21 for 2 Pakistan.
They need to take advantage of the power play, Pakistan, because as soon as it's done, you know that you've got Sophie Eccleston and Sarah Glenn to come into the attack.
And Pakistan have struggled against those spinners who take the ball away from them in particular. As Dean is in, sweeping airily, but over the head of the fielder at short mid-wicket. Another single to the total, 22 for 2 after 4, so just 2 overs left in this first power play. As you say, that there have been loose deliveries from England, but Pakistan haven't hit them away for boundaries, and that will be costly. You know, we look at them to say, how are they going to get close to a target around 145? They've got to make the most of those looser deliveries. Are you going to get in? Join in with the clap,
yeah,
Alex?
I'm just laughing at Sarah Glenn, who's just been put on the big screen, trying to get the crowd involved by clapping her hands over her head.
The Icelandic clap? Is that where it started?
Is that what it's called?
As you get quicker and quicker and quicker.
That's the best thing I've ever... I hope she's looking at the big screen and having a giggle.
Well, the crowd getting involved here, as they can recognise England certainly on top here at Northampton. Second T20 in this series. Bell coming in for her third over. Balls to Maniba Ali. It's full. She slashes it away past the point fielder. Deep third does get round. A good bit of work from Sarah Glenn. The ball's following her round. Pakistan come back for just 2 runs. Maniba Ali moves on to 4.
She obviously hyped herself up there.
With the
seen
claps.
herself on the big screen for that pre-record, and I'm going to have to stop this, but it was a brilliant diving stop from Sarah Glenn. Full length.
The issue is she set a precedent now, because if she got pumped up with the claps and then did a great bit of work, she's got to do that every time. Bell around the wicket, bowling on the back foot is Maniba Ali, pushing it into the onside. Quick single and good work from Pakistan in the end, as that fielder at mid-wicket was just that little bit further back, and it was a pretty safe single in the end. 25 for 2 the score.
It was a great single, actually, just knocking the ball on its head down, killing the ball into the leg side, and just running through quickly, nobody there.
120 more runs needed by Pakistan here in the 5th over. I'm a little bit ashamed, I'm going to admit it. I had to use the calculator for that, Alex. Bell, full toss, quite a high one in the end, and it slapped straight to mid-off. And a throw at the stumps from Eccleston. Just wonder then if she'd hit, would Sidra Amin have been in a little bit of trouble there? She rehearsed the shot she wanted to play off the full toss. They always say it's almost harder to get those full tosses away. I think she might have been in, but she certainly didn't push her bat. She didn't hoover the bat into the crease.
No, she didn't. She didn't slide her bat, so I think it would have been a lot closer than we thought. Sophie Eccleston thought she'd have been gone.
There's Bell. Runs in again now. Bowling to Maniba Ali, who advances down the pitch and hits the ball back over her head, down the ground for 4. And that's some of the intent that Pakistan need. They need it a bit earlier in the power play, but even now, just putting Lauren Bell under a bit of pressure. It's a glorious shot.
Yeah, great shot down the ground. Slightly fuller from Lauren Bell. Just bunted back past her.
I mean, she didn't entirely time it, which is quite remarkable because the bat just twisted in her hands a bit, but I just wonder if she'd held it a bit better together, how far it would have gone. But nonetheless, a boundary for Pakistan. 26 for 2. Bell, shorter ball, pulled nicely and into the vacant square leg region. Another boundary. Maniba Ali looking good here for Pakistan. There was no one at square leg. There was a deep fine leg and mid-wicket. So you just wonder there whether the heat of the moment for Lauren Bell there went, yeah, I'm going to bowl a shorter ball, but whether she'd evaluated the field she had in place. It was easy pickings in the end for Maniba Ali.
Well, every fast bowler, when they get hit for 4, bowls the bouncer, and she's gone for that. She's bowled that back of a length ball, short ball. Maniba Ali onto it in a flash, plays it off 1 foot, hooks the ball around the corner. It's a great shot.
A great shot deserved Taylor Swift.
It did. And also a change in field. I don't like Taylor Swift.
I know you don't.
I know you
it's
love
okay.
her.
It's the one thing we won't agree on. Bell bowls now with a deep square leg. Again, a drop and run into the onside from Pakistan, and again they'll get through safely for the single. Niba Ali now 13 off 9 balls. Sidra Amin 10 off 9 at the other end. 5 gone, 35 for 2.
It was good over that for Pakistan, wasn't it? Needed a couple of boundaries for them.
I mean, how do you kind of shape up Pakistan's chances in the World Cup? Because of course, you know, we were speaking about the qualifiers and Sri Lanka looking like such a great side in that. Do we think even, you know, a side like Sri Lanka is potentially stronger than Pakistan at the moment? Because they have suffered some significant losses recently. Yes, I know they won that T20 series over in New Zealand back in the winter, so they have found some victories, but it does look like a challenging time for Pakistan cricket in both the women's and men's setups.
Yeah, it does, and I think, you know, it'll be an important World Cup for them. They're probably not going to get through the group stages, but to show what they can do.
Particularly making the most of those spinners. Sophie Eccleston bowling now for England, and it's swept away for 4 by Maniba Ali. She's on a rampage here now. Pakistan moved to 39 for 2, and Eccleston, first ball, boundary. We don't see that very often, Catherine Siverbrun.
Oh, am I on?
You are on now.
I just couldn't hear it. We are. That was a lovely shot, and taking her on because they need to. They're in that situation. They're making the most of the power play, and why not go against, you know, the number 1 bowler in the world?
That's one thing. Eccleston,
she'll
very
bowl faster
rarely
now.
put under pressure, but as you say, what will her response be? Again, this time chipped in the air, and the simplest of return catches for Eccleston. Maniba Ali, she was looking so good, and actually rather than that quicker delivery, Eccleston just floated up a bit more, took pace off it.
Yep.
All she could do was just dink it back to the bowler. Pakistan lose their 3rd wicket in the 6th over.
Yep, and that's the growth of Sophie at the minute. Is in times gone by, she might have just bowled a left-arm seam ball there because she's just really annoyed because none of us like to go for boundaries, but no, that's the difference. That's the growth, that's the learning, that's the maturity. Is instead of that, we learn from that, and we're brave. So that slower ball has come into our armoury over the last year and a half.
So Maniba Ali goes for 18 off 12. And coming in is Nida Dar, the 37-year-old of her team, in a bit of trouble. We have got a tweet in from our good friend Hypercaust, who has said that Sophie Eccleston averages 9.61 with the ball in T20 internationals against Pakistan, while Sarah Glenn averages 7.5.
Fantastic.
So
they should be in the team.
Well, they should, yeah. You'd
There
make
they
a
are.
great selector, Catherine.
Thank you.
And Nida Dar on strike. Eccleston this time bowls a flatter delivery down the leg side, and Amy Jones takes off the bails.
She was going for the little LBW first ball, wasn't she? That was just quick and flat. She's hoping that would just skid onto a front pad first ball when you're a bit nervy.
Eccleston and Nida Dar, who's leaning forwards on this one, drives the ball into the covers and gets through for a single off the mark. Pakistan 41 for 3. She's a feisty character, Nida Dar. She won't want to see, you know, her team go down without a fight, and you typically see these fantastic innings from her when she's, as you say, desperately fighting against the narrative. So it'll be interesting to see this battle as Eccleston is in now to
Interesting.
Sidra Amin, looking to reverse sweep, doesn't get hold of it. It's a dot ball, and Eccleston looking confused, but
when I've
quietly
played, always confused when I play against Soph, but when I've batted against her, the reverse sweep is not the one. The reverse paddle I've found is way more successful using the pace of her.
So Eccleston is in, and in defence is Sidra Amin.
As you can imagine, a reverse sweep, you're hoping that the pure timing of it and the fact, hoping that it's not a Yorker also, you'll get the connection. But with the paddle, you can hold your bat out in front, and it's got the whole length of the bat for you to fail.
Eccleston is in, and she hits it straight at mid-off, and there could be a run-out if she hit. She was gone. Nida Dar at the non-striker's end has her arms outstretched going, what were you doing? Because she hit it straight at mid-off. Sidra Amin looked for the single. Both of them almost met in the middle, staring at each other, and it could have been another wicket for England. Instead,
There's been 2 or 3 of them, and I thought that, what on earth are you doing? It's just unnecessary. They're not after quick singles at this point. Not suicidal ones anyway.
So it's the end of the power play, and a good one for England. It was Charlie Dean with a throw in the end who looked disappointed that she didn't hit, but Sarah Glenn now, we mentioned that average. England are going in for the kill.
There she goes. Well, let's hope it's not 7 balls. Let's hope it's 1. She goes.
So England want to keep their foot on the gas here. Make sure that Pakistan on 41 for 3 don't sneak away from them. Glenn bowling, driving.
Crowd catch.
It's a crowd catch.
I love those.
I'm particularly vulnerable to those,
Are you?
which is a bad position to be as a commentator.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
You're meant to be the ones upholding trust. But instead, I'm just deceiving people. Glenn is in, looking to sweep and almost goes through onto the stumps. Again, Jones, fantastic. She's looked really on it tonight.
They need a captain's innings from Nida Dar, and so far in the 3 balls she's been here, she's looked like getting out every delivery, so she needs to calm the ship a little bit.
As Glenn is in, this time shout for leg before finger goes up, and the Pakistan captain goes. Nida Dar, one of just the 4 deliveries. Just looking just whether to review here.
I think she ought to. She's the captain, and you know they've got 2 to go with. You can always get umpire's call, but
she's walking off, and actually it looked like Cedra Amin there was the one telling her to go.
To do one. Yeah. Let's see if it was a good decision.
So it was a foolish delivery from Glenn. Just went on, struck Nida Dar almost on the hip as she was down to play the sweep, and I think that's as plumb as it can be.
That is as out can be. I think that's hitting the middle of middle. So I have to guesstimate.
41 for 4 now. Pakistan, they're imploding slightly here, just in the 7th over. Fresh outside the power play as well, when England were able to spread the field, and she was still looking to play that big shot, as you said. She looked unsettled, and actually what you were speaking about so wonderfully in the first innings was the way that the senior England players come in, they read the situation, they knock the ball around, because we've got decent sized boundaries today here at Northampton as well. There's plenty of 2s out there, but Pakistan have looked a little bit frantic, and those dot balls have really just dug them down into the ground.
I was just literally talking outside about their batting, and I've just been really disappointed in some of the shot selections that I've seen.
As a slip is in, Glenn's bowling, and the new batter, Alia Riaz.
As you've seen, like, they were dominating Lauren Bell, and there was no need to do what she did. She could literally have let her bowl at her, and use the pace.
Glenn into Alia Riaz, who this time rocks back and cuts the ball out towards deep point. Just get a single.
If someone's willing to charge in at you and try and bowl quicker, that's her aim, and through that the result is not as much swing, then you can literally sit there and use the pace of that bowler and put them in a back foot position, and then you're in the driver's seat. So trying to create something from nothing was not the way to go about that. She could have literally just used the pace, taken those 3 bad balls and over that she was producing, and been on top.
As Glenn is in. Instead worked into the onside by Cedra Amin. Again, no run. 7 overs gone. 42 for 4 Pakistan. Catherine, I'm going to let you continue with your thoughts there, but very shortly you're going to be joined by Artif Namaz.
Instead, they just proceeded to hand England 2 wickets and ruin what was, I would say, arguably going in their favour. They had a decent start. They were facing some sort of off-line and length bowling from Lauren, and could have taken charge of the situation, but instead just sort of threw it back in England's court, and then 3 wickets in the power play, and sometimes that's it, game over sometimes.
Yeah, it feels like a bit of pressure, a bit of an experience maybe from the Pakistan camp. And they're cutting a very desolate sequence of figures in their dugout right now, and you sort of understand why. They've only got themselves to blame. Some poor shot selection, as you say, Catherine, in that power play. Now then, Danny Gibson into the attack from the pavilion end. She's coming in to bowl to Alia Riaz, who drives nicely but can't beat the bowler in her follow through. There is no run.
You know what's making me sad is I really love Alia Riaz. Like, she can give the ball a thump, and she loves playing in the V, and obviously we've got mid-on, mid-off up here, and Danny Gibson likes to bowl full. and she might not feel like she's in a position to be able to take care of those just yet.
Here's Danny Gibson into Alia Riaz. This one goes down the leg side. It's an excellent take from Amy Jones, acrobatically done. A couple of tumbles to her left-hand side.
But
another wide though.
I would love to see her come into a situation where there has been somewhat of a foundation being made, and see, because they're not utilising her at this point in time, not being able to utilise neither either in these situations. Those two can be quite destructive in that middle order.
Absolutely. She's done that job for Pakistan before. As in comes Gibson. That's been cut away nicely. Lovely shot that from Alia Riaz, and a terrific diving stop on the boundary. Huge cheers as well. Terrific work there in the deep.
Sarah Glenn.
Yeah, Sarah Glenn with the diving stop there. I thought that ball was definitely going to get to the boundary, but you hear from the cheers around this crowd, appreciate it.
She just popped a little hand warmer back in her pocket. It's not that cold, Glennie.
A little bit chilly out there, a little bit chilly. A few drops of rain earlier, which have disappeared. Here's Gibson again. That ball's just defended to extra cover. There is no run.
I would be absolutely waiting for Gibbo to be over pitching here. 100%.
And you want to go
if they've
down the
done their
ground?
homework, yeah, absolutely down the ground. Her strength. We played in Malaysia once, and it was such a good batting surface. There was hundreds everywhere, and this was the first time I'd seen Aaliyah just rip us to shreds, just smacking it everywhere.
Yep. Here's Gibson into Alia Riaz, who does go down the ground over mid-off, and one bounce for. Terrific shot that, telegraphed really by Catherine Simmer-Brunt alongside me. What a shot that was.
I'm so happy that she's in that space in her head where she doesn't feel bogged down by the scoreboard. That is a proper shot. She's let that come onto the bat, full extension of the hands, pushed the hip straight through it, and she's hit that with power. That was lovely.
Yeah, terrific shot that from Alia Riaz. As Gibson in again to Alia Riaz, slightly back of a length this time, driven. There's a diving stop there at mid-on, and there is no run. As you say, there will be opportunities for Pakistan to play their shots. It's still a very good surface. We've seen so many runs scored in the county championship here at Wantage Road already this season. One of the games had an aggregate of over 1,000 runs, so it's a very, very good batting surface here. Yeah,
Oof.
Yeah, it's not really.
I have played here when it's been carnage. It's not been the funnest to bowl at. And some bloody good teams. We've had the West Indies here when they had their power hitters, DeAndre Dottin, back in the good old days.
There's Danny Gibson again down the leg side. There'll be another wide. It's been slightly wayward from England here. They're in control of the situation with Pakistan 50 for 4, but at the same time, there's plenty of room for improvement. That sort of a lot of leg side wides today.
Yeah, I mean, they've not really hit the straps yet, have they? And that will come as the season goes on. It's obviously I've waited 3/4 of a season once to find some rhythm.
Here's Danny Gibson again. This one's been smashed high and long. Will they go all the way? Nope, just one bounce for.
You know what? That's scary, because had she actually timed that would have gone over the pavilion.
It wasn't out of the middle of the bat. It wasn't out of the middle of the bat. She didn't get full connection, but excellent technique and a high backswing. Had enough power on it to comfortably clear mid-on and mid-off. So a safe shot. Pakistan moved to 54 for 4 after 8 overs, with Alia Riaz playing some crowd-pleasing shots in that last over of Danny Gibson.
I think if the over comes back around, I think she will have one of those out. That would be my reckon. If this was a fair game, the score was quite tight, she would never have been allowed that mid-on, mid-off back. I mean, if I know she hits well straight, they will know she hits well straight. So.
You called it straight away. Here's Sarah Glenn now. This time it's down the leg side. Gets a little paddle sweep on it. It gets down to short, fine leg. They get through for a single. Sidra Amin has just been starved of the strike a little bit. Very talented player. Top run scorer for Pakistan against the West Indies recently. And she's got a high score in ODI cricket of 176 not out.
Nice.
Sidra Amin. So a very talented batter. Well, she's on 10 off 13 at the moment. Hasn't had a ton of strike. Sarah Glenn.
She's just having a good show from the other side, watching her. Alia Riaz smash it.
Here's Glenn into Riaz, who smashes this down the ground. One bounce for again to the long on boundary this time. Alia Riaz is not messing around today. Shots down the ground. showing off that talent in the V.
She's just enjoying the show, isn't she? The Alia Riaz show, and I love it, honestly. When she came along in the squad, I was so happy for them. I thought this is exactly what you're missing: a clean hitter with long levers who can just put a bit of pressure back on the opposition.
And here's Glenn again. This is short outside off, and it's just hung in the air for a while before Alia just guided it to deep backward point. The score moves on to 60 for 4 off 8.3 overs. The target is 145 for Pakistan.
Glennie didn't mess about. One ball, mid-on's gone back. I've had enough. They've had enough now.
Yeah, mid-on's back. Mid-off is still up inside the circle. There's a deep cover sweeper. Reverse sweep this time. Beautifully timed, but picks out the fielder at short third, and there's no run.
That's
in fact,
unlucky.
there's almost a direct hit at the keeper's end. Lovely looking shot that from Sidharani.
That was very unlucky. It was a lovely technique in that shot, actually. This game is not gone. Both teams are at the same point after 8.4 overs. Obviously 60 for 1, 60 for 4. It doesn't read well, but...
This is full, driven nicely. A little ricochet from... Oh, God, there could be trouble here at the keeper's end. There's going to be a run out. That is disastrous for Pakistan. An awful bit of miscommunication between Sidra Amin and Alia Riaz. Sidra had driven the ball to mid-off. She thought she'd cleared her. There was a slight fumble which made her think they could go for a run. Alia hadn't really backed up very far. Sidra was halfway down the track and the throw came back. She was run out by about 4 feet in the end. Really good piece of fielding at mid-off. And I think Amy Jones did the rest. 5 down now, Pakistan.
It's classic case, isn't it? When you're the one struggling, you're the batter and you're struggling at one end, and the other person's... You just want to either get them on strike or keep the momentum going. And she just hit that straight to someone and ran with it. It was really bad from Sidra. She should know better than that. And watching the first... All 4 of Nida Dar's balls looked like someone getting out, either run out or LBW, and they've just created this bit of panic, bit of chaos for themselves. We haven't even created it; they're just doing it for themselves. So, like as we just saw, we're both at the same point, same level of runs, 60 for 1 and 60 for 4 after 8.4 overs. So they're not struggling to score boundaries.
No,
but they're just making terrible mistakes, which is going to kill this game when it shouldn't.
Well, it's a very talented batter coming out to the crease now in Fatima Sana. She's famously won the ICC Emerging Player of the Year award in 2021. Played for franchises around the world, including in New Zealand for the Canterbury Magicians. She was very popular. Her T20 record doesn't look very impressive, but we know she's a much better player than that record. Here's Sarah Glenn. This is short as Fatima looks for a pull, mistimes the ball to the square leg region. They'll get through for a single, and that'll complete the 9th over. 61 for 5 Pakistan after 9, chasing that target of 145. Remember, if England win today, that's the T20 series settled, and the third game will become a dead rubber in Leeds on Sunday, which of course we'll be bringing you here on BBC Test Match Special. You can listen on 5 Live, and remember, there's clips of the game you can watch and see on the BBC Sport website and app. You can see Fionn Wynn working very hard alongside us today, making sure you get all the best of it on the BBC Sport website and app. So check all of that out. Right now, though, Fatima Sana. Well, I tell you what, if you're a Pakistan fan, I'll try and give you some hope. I watched her play an innings of 90 against New Zealand in a game that they ultimately lost by 1 wicket. But it was one of the best it was the only game as captain as well for Fatima Sana. As Sophie Eccleston is in, there's a big appeal for LBW, and the umpire's finger goes up. Well, it looked pretty straight. Fatima Sana's standing her ground, thinking about the DRS review.
She has to go upstairs. She has to.
She's having a chat with Alia Riaz at the non-strikers. 5 seconds.
Hurry up.
4 seconds. There we go. She's done it. She's gone for it. It looked pretty straight, though,
I know,
Catherine.
but the thing is with Sophie Eccleston, it's been proved time and time again, because you've obviously followed, you must know, 90% it misses leg stump.
Yeah.
90%, because there is no turn there 99% of the time.
It's just that it's been given on field, so
yes,
it just has to be...
That is the problem.
Yeah.
That is always the problem. But that's why it's worth a review also. And at this point, it really is worth a review.
Let's have a look. Is pitching in line?
Pitching on leg, that's missing leg.
It looks like it's missing leg, but you get the feeling it might just be clipping. We're going to have to wait for Ultra Edge to tell us. And I beg your pardon, we're going to have to wait for ball tracking. Ultra Edge shows that there's no contact between bat and ball.
I feel like if that's clipping, we need a new DRS system.
Here we go. Now we've got ball tracking. It's pitching inside. Umpire's call on the impact, and it's missing the leg stump. Fatima Sana survives.
I can't believe they waited till 3 seconds to refer that. It would have been so quick. just based on the history of Eccleston's reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, she hasn't reviewed this, but she would have reviewed that.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
You think so? Well,
we're all aware of this.
yeah, it's something that's been discussed quite a lot, but you wonder how much information is available to the teams about specific players. You'd like to think they know that, but you never know.
I personally believe it's the bowler's decision through and through, unless they are a really unreliable person like Shane Watson, Stuart Broad, Sophie Eccleston.
I love it. Naming and shaming from Captain Silverbrand. I love it.
No issue. I was 100% every time. In fact, there was 2 I asked for once. Heather said no, and then Ish Gua, Bez mate, backed me up later on.
Is Eccleston in, driven uppishly by Fatima Sana to backward point. This time there's no thought of a run. Right, tell us about that. Ishigua said, yeah, go for it.
She sent me a couple of WhatsApps later in the day with videos saying, mate, these were both absolutely plumb, why didn't you refer them? And I said, as you can imagine, I asked.
Is Eccleston in again? Fatima Sana getting forward, playing a conventional defensive shot back to the bowler, no run.
I did get an apology from the skipper.
The skipper at the time was Heather. Heather was
I was
okay.
still sick though. That's 2 wickets.
It's another 2 that could have been in the column.
It's not easy.
Here's Eccleston. Fatima Sana just muscles this ball past the fielder at mid-on, and that runs away to the boundary for 4. Well, she basically willed that ball to the boundary, just scythed it. That was valuable runs for Pakistan. Fatima Sana on to 5 off 5. Pakistan 65 for 5 off 9.4.
That was a good slap, wasn't it? She really meant that. She put a lot into that. I think she would have liked a little bit more of elevation. She just rolled her wrist on it a bit too early, but still got the result.
There's Eccleston now into Fatima Sana again, who this time just guides the ball into that vacant point region. And quick as a flash, Sarah Glenn on the ball. And they don't get a run. So that is the end of an eventful over. Is it? Oh, I beg your pardon. There's still a ball to come. 65 for 5, 9.5. We're nearly at the halfway stage of this innings.
It could still be eventful.
It could be. Even more so.
That's another jinx. I'm ever so sorry.
Here's Eccleston into Fatima, who drives this ball uneventfully down towards long on for a single. And that does complete the over now. So 66 for 5. The target 145. Not a foregone conclusion.
I would like to see at this stage what the scores are again.
For England?
Yeah.
England, after 10 overs, were very, very close to... Obviously, they hadn't lost as many wickets. England were just the 1 wicket down. But I remember what it was because I tweeted it.
66 for 1.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's right. 66 for 1, England. And Pakistan, 66 for 5. Almost bang on.
It's those wickets, isn't it?
Yeah,
those
it
wickets.
is. And I saw you, Alex, just shaking your head at some of the dismissals from the Pakistani batters. The shot selection, not very impressive.
No, they weren't at all. But I think maybe when you've been told by your captain to play aggressively and take the game on, when you're learning that, we've seen it with England as well, you almost try and go after too many balls and you play shots you necessarily wouldn't normally.
Do you think the fans of their team have to be a little bit patient? Because, I think most people sort of acknowledge the fact that it would be difficult for Pakistan in this series to, go toe-to-toe with England in every single game. But, I think their goals have to be more specific, more realistic almost, about showing incremental improvements in certain forms of the game.
Yeah, I think so. And Nida Dar was saying in the last game we're really happy with the power plays. It's just then, can you capitalise on that and can you continue with that momentum, which they haven't been able to do?
Yeah, it's been very difficult for Pakistan. They've been in phases of the game. They've been very much on top, including today, where they had England at 66 for 1 after 10 overs, which is a pretty solid effort, you have to say, from the spinners in particular, who bowled really, really well a little bit earlier on today. Some excellent returns in the Nida Dar, 2 for 33. With those 2 wickets, by the way, became the top wicket taker in T20 internationals, in women's T20 internationals. Nida Dar again. There's always her and Megan Shute just going back and forth over top wicket takers, but she's got that title back today. But with the bat, less successful. The Pakistan captain, 1 run off her 4 balls.
Lady Boom Boom, not quite.
Lady Boom Boom, cool. So she's got 2 nicknames, and I asked her which one she prefers. I'm like, do you like Lady Boom Boom or do you like Cool Nida Dar? She says, I like Lady Boom Boom.
Yeah, Lady Boom Boom's got that bit about it, hasn't it?
She's a big fan of Shahid Afridi, modelled herself on his career as well. She wanted to always have that kind of impact, like the big aggressive shots, the fiery spells. That's what she wanted. Although, to be honest with you, I've seen Shahid Afridi get 1 off 4 a few times as well, so that happens from time to time.
It can happen.
Well, not a lot of batting to come for Pakistan. Diana Beg, Wahida Akhtar, Nashra Sandhu and Sadia Iqbal waiting in the dugout. Alia Riaz and Fatima Sana out in the middle. And it's Charlie Dean who's going to come back for another spell. Starts with a fullish delivery. Big swing from the batter. Close to that wide line. The umpire just had a little look at it. Just sort of turned sideways with her body.
I think Fatima Sana somehow got some ball on it. Some bat on it, sorry. She'd do well to get a ball on it. She's batting.
Be very impressive. Here's Charlie Dean. This is short. Pulled away nicely. There is a fielder out at mid-wicket. And it'll just be a single. I should remind everybody the latest episode of No Balls podcast is out on the BBC Sounds feed, so you can check that out. It's on the TMS feed, I beg your pardon, on BBC Sounds. So No Balls cricket podcast with Alex Hartley and Kate Cross. Here's Charlie Dean into Alia Riaz. Lots of flight on this big swing from Alia Riaz. No connection whatsoever, but the intent was very clear. She wanted to send that from Northampton to Derby. And, in the end, it didn't go too far.
Send that one to head and then we'll pick it up Sunday.
67 for 5 off 10.3. Charlie Dean halfway through a third over here. And she comes to Alia again, who skips down the track and lofts this ball over extra cover. Is trickling away towards the boundary. There is a cover sweeper who should cut the ball off and does so comfortably. That's Danny Wyatt out there, and they'll take 2 runs. Will the Pakistani batters? 18 for Alia Riaz so far of 12 balls. It's a promising start. I mean, we've seen that earlier. We saw Muniba Ali make 18, play some lovely shots, and then a horrific shot to get out. In fact, I just saw her turn her face away in disgust with her own shot. You know, when the ball hasn't even been caught yet, but she just turned away in disgust, ready to walk off. Here's Charlie Dean into Alia Riaz, who just pats that ball defensively to mid-off. There is no run.
Yeah, they're the ones that you get away with in the nets, obviously, because you go, all right, okay, can't play that again. In a game, you play an ugly, horrible hack like that, and you go, why have I done that?
Here's Charlie Dean in again, and once more Alia happy to just defend the ball into the onside, and there is no run. So 11 overs gone in this innings. 69 for 5 Pakistan, chasing that target of 145. This is the second T20 international. It's from Northampton. It's a beautiful evening here, I have to say. The floodlights illuminating the ground. It looks lovely. Great attendance, really noisy and enthusiastic fans here in the house today. And it's been a wonderful visit back to this part of the world. It's nice. Always sort of drive past it on the motorway and think about it. But it's always nice to drop in and watch some cricket here in Northampton. I know everybody has a nice time. Our production team and all of our commentators, everybody really enjoys just visiting here. Got a cake as well from the crowd today, which was nice.
That was nice.
Here's Sarah Glenn in. Lots of flight, driven back to the bowler for no run. We got some chocolates, courtesy of our sound engineer as well.
They were also really nice.
It's really, really nice. And and she got them just for visiting the wonderful city that is Northampton. So we're having fun here. This is short, cut away nicely by Fatima Sana out towards deep backward point for a single. Now this is going to be challenging for Pakistan, because I don't know if they've got that same ability to accelerate that England do.
No, I don't think they have, especially when they're 5 down so early. You feel like Nida Dar would have been the one that could have got going.
Lots of flight on this again, defended to mid-off and no run.
And it's the England spinners, isn't it? They're hard to get after. You've got Sophie Eccleston, world #1 in all formats, Sarah Glenn, Charlie Dean. And Charlie Dean, the fastest woman to 50 wickets in ODI cricket.
Plenty more ahead of her as well. This is shorter from Glenn. It's been pulled nicely down the ground to long on for a single. Yeah, it's just, we saw this from England so expertly in that previous game. That partnership between Heather Knight and Amy Jones stabilised the innings, and then some big hits at the back end of that innings as well. As in comes Glenn to Fatima, who cuts the ball onto her off stump. She's played on, and another wicket falls. It's Sarah Glenn again with another wicket. Pakistan 6 down for 71. As Fatima Sana looks at the sky, wonders what could have been. Little inside edge onto the off stump, Alex. It's just what the best spinners can pull out.
Yeah, she just looks to shuffle around her crease. She goes outside the off stump, forward, back, left, right. Wasn't stable when she was hitting the ball, a little bit all over the place, and then gets that under edge onto a stump and not happy with herself. But to be honest, she wasn't in the best position at all.
No, she really struggled there in that game. In this game, it's been a tough one for Fatima Sana. Only bowled the 2 overs earlier, and now she's gone for 8 off 12. And with her, you imagine most of Pakistan's even far-fetched hopes are walking off that target, 145. They're currently 71 for 6. I was talking about that rearguard effort from England in the game in Birmingham. Danny Gibson, 41 off 21. 41 not out of 21 deliveries. And that's the kind of innings at the bottom of the order that's so valuable in modern cricket.
Yeah, and today 18 off just 9 balls as well. Eccleston 7 off 3. And when you look at the Pakistan lineup,
in comes Glenn again. This ball's defended off the back foot, no run.
You've got Diana Baig in now. She's not quite got the power that someone like Danny Gibson or Sophie Eccleston have got.
Yeah, it was just so impressive. Eccleston 19 off 11 in the previous game, 7 off 3. Again, this is like what modern T20 cricket is becoming about, those short but impactful innings that you play at the back end. Because if you look at it on the if you looked at a very traditional view of the England scorecard, you'd see sort of 3 batters managed to get to 30 or 31 and not go on, and you think, well, why didn't you go on with that? That's what you wanted. But what you don't mind is actually having a few batters score you 30, as long as you got someone in the back end, at the bottom end of the innings, just coming in and scoring at a 200 plus strike rate.
Yeah, and people have made careers out of it. You think, I'm going to throw a random name out there, but you think of Tristan Stubbs for Australia, South African. Wow, this has gone really badly. The South African, he's almost made it his speciality in the IPL to come in and strike at above 200 and finish off innings.
Yeah, the finisher. It's a new thing. It's another thing that cricket has taken from wrestling. Here's Capsey into Alia Riaz. Bit of flight. Down the track comes Alia, takes a leading edge, goes up in the air, and the catch is taken. It's a wicket off Alice Capsey's first ball. It's a big wicket as well. It's Alia Riaz, who played some blinding shots around Northampton today. She's going to go off the field for 19 off 17 deliveries. Pakistan now 7 wickets down with the score at 71.
She's not bowled for a while for England as Alice Capsey, and that's a welcome back to international cricket. Alia Riaz just looking to heave the ball into the onside. Thick outside edge goes up in the air. Sarah Glenn taking a pretty simple catch at backward point / short third.
Yeah, she's walking off disappointed is Alia Riaz. And look, we've seen a lot today from the Pakistani players. Really thrown away a few positions, felt the pressure, and struggled to build. And Neither Dar, we can see her on the Pakistan team balcony, just cutting a frustrated figure.
She's got a playing kit off already.
Yeah, she's already got that tracksuit on. I think they get a bit chilly, the Pakistani players.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Although I went to a few cold places myself during the PSL.
What was the coldest?
Freezing.
Really?
Yeah. Multan was pretty cold as well.
Wow. Colder than when we were there in sort of a December time?
So much colder.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was cold. It's almost... I was wrapping myself up in towels to keep warm on the bench.
You can see a lot of that dugout with plenty of covering on. They're feeling the temperature here in Northampton. As Alice Capsey in once again, as that ball's turned round the corner by Nashra Sandhu to get off the mark down to the square leg region. So score moves on to 72 for 7. Nashra Sandhu back in the team today. Both these players actually, Diana Baig and Nashra Sandhu, missed out on that first T20 international in Birmingham. And some valuable time out in the middle. Slip in place as well now for Alice Capsey. And she comes to Diana. Oh God, that looked awful. No part of that looked good, I'm afraid.
As a summariser, you've got to describe the shot. I don't know how I'm going to do that. She almost just tried to kill the ball with her left buttock.
And no run was scored. That's all I can add. Oh, the scorebook will just say dot ball, I'm afraid. Here's Capsey. Bit of flight on this. Lofted down the ground, and the catch is taken. Sophie Eccleston probably hasn't taken an easier catch than that in her entire playing career. Just lofted up in the air, just lobbed up, so comfortable. Diana Baig goes for a duck, and it's turning into a procession here for Pakistan. 72 for 8. England massively on top, dominating here in Northampton.
They are indeed. It's soft dismissal, but you almost felt like it was coming. Diana Baig, how was she going to get off strike? Could she get that mid-on and mid-off push back, both of them up inside the ring? Simple catch for Sophie Eccleston, and Pakistan are crumbling here.
Yeah, it's turning into not too dissimilar to the previous game where they were bowled out for 110. in 18.2 overs. You wonder if they're going to see out the full overs here today as well. 72 for 8. Diana Baig walking back. And Wahida Akhtar, I think, is going to be the new batter in. Yeah, she is indeed. Wahida Akhtar doesn't have an average. She's played 4 games of T20 cricket, doesn't have an average yet.
That's my gal. That's my gal. I feel like she might end up with one today. I feel like she might get dismissed in T20 cricket for the first time.
Well, she might have been dismissed already, right? Because she doesn't have an average.
She might not have got any runs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This is short, it's been cut, but can't beat the fielder at backward point. So that wait will continue. Now Wahida scored a duck in the previous game off 2 balls. This is an opportunity to get a run to her name, get some runs to her international career's name. Last minute pick for Pakistan in that first game. Made a really strong impression with the ball. Here's Kapsi. This is cut nicely to extra cover. No run. And that is the end of a successful over. Just the 2 runs from it. Alice Kapsi takes a wicket as well. 72 for 8 Pakistan after 13 overs. The target 145. Alex Hartley, what are the odds Pakistan can play out their 20 overs today for a change? Tell us a little bit about Wahida Akhtar's average as well. I'm pretty sure I was spot on.
You were spot on.
And then now you're going to be joined by Alison Mitchell.
Well, not a bad first over for Alice Kapsi there. 2 wickets, 1 run. Pretty simple catch from her best mate Sophie Eccleston. As you can see on the big screen, or we can see on the big screen, sorry, that they're having a good giggle and a good laugh celebrating that wicket. But England on top here. Pakistan still needs 73 runs.
Bit of a story, Al, hasn't it? Soft catches in this Pakistan innings. The run out as well. The catch Danny Wyatt took was a very good one, wasn't it? A backward point away to her left, but a lot of them have been pretty soft dismissals from Pakistan. England have asserted their authority in the field. So Danielle Gibson is returning. 72 for 8. Will England need the last of these 7 overs? Nashra Sandhu is facing up. Gibson in. Through to the keeper. She took a big swipe and a miss. Scuttled through quite low to Amy Jones.
Yeah, that was a big old heave across the line and see where it goes.
Not a lot that was pretty about it. Crowd stayed here, haven't they? I think some of the members down the far side, we can see quite a few white seats there, but there's a good buzz around the ground. The crowd who want to see England to victory, and a 2-0 victory will mean the series is sealed. They wrap up this match. Gibson in, another swipe and a miss. Through to Jones it goes once again. Well, Nashra Sandhu is hoping against hope here that she makes contact with something.
Well, if she edges one, it's going to fly past Amy Jones and Sarah Glenn, who's at short third, so it could be a way for her to pick up a boundary.
She's one of the more experienced players in the side. Sandhu played 54 T20 internationals, 26 years old. Gibson in again, driving this time, and gets it out past extra cover. Protection on the deep cover boundary, just a single. And Pakistan limp to 73 for 8 in this 14th over. I mentioned Lahore, so you were talking about places that were cold in Pakistan. I think Lahore was the place I was shivering in 2005. This is a long time ago, but when England, it was the last test tour they went on before there was the big gap until they went recently. And we had to commentate from the outdoor balcony.
Yep.
Were you out there when you were there? Gibson over the wicket now. A little bit of width, but cross-batted shot again, looking to find the offside through to Amy Jones once more. Wide signalled though, so too much width outside that off stump. So I think it was a case of when the sun was on that balcony, it was warm, but as soon as the sun moved off it, it was freezing, and nobody had come prepared, which sounded very much like you.
You just take shorts and a t-shirt or like trousers and a little thin top.
We had to go and buy emergency pashminas.
Yeah.
Which was quite a fun trip to the market.
I can imagine.
Gibson moves in, right arm over. And that one sits up just back of a length, whistles past the nose, actually has her leaning back. And then good carry through to Jones. We haven't seen too much of that in this game.
We haven't. It was a brilliant test match leave. All she needed to do there was just put her bat in front of her face and
could have been periscope like
guide it.
Uppercut.
Yeah, up and over Amy Jones.
This fielder's back on the ring there, short third, backward point, and a short fine leg as well. Almost looking for that sort of top edge glide if she was to lay a bat on any of these. Gibson moves in, bounds in at the crease. This is chopped away out towards deep backward point. Fielder moves in off the cover boundary. Throw comes in and a single is taken, and Wahida is off the mark. She's got a single. 75 for 8 in this 14th over. One more ball to come. The target 145. Pakistan a long way off and just 2 wickets left. England will want to make sure that they wrap this up and have a nice tidy clean finish to this match, searching for these last 2 wickets. Floodlights beaming down. Gibson moves into Nashra, who awaits. It's a fuller delivery. Clips it into the vacant mid-wicket region. The fielder's set back deep on that side of the ground. Bouchier races in, sends the ball back into the gloves of Jones, and a single taken to end the over. So 14 of the 20 are gone. Pakistan 76 for 8 with Nashra on 3, Wahida on 1. 2 wickets for Sarah Glenn, 2 and an over from Alice Capsey. The caught and bowled from Eccleston, and 2 for Lauren Bell at the top as Pakistan slumped early. They lost 2 wickets inside the first 3 overs of the power play, 3 down after the first 6 overs. And whilst you noted, Alex, that the scores were the same in numbers after the 10 over mark, the difference was the wickets.
Yeah, it was, and a little bit disappointing from Pakistan, to be completely honest.
Alice Capsey's got another over here. 2 wickets to a name already, and the slip remains also. Going back, little nudge into the onside. Now there could be a run out here, and there really should be. It's gone to the wrong end. Amy Jones hasn't taken it cleanly either. That ball's absolutely fired in from Charlie Dean, that the mid-wicket region, but she actually needed to go to the bowler's end. That was where the batter was stranded and not able to get back. But Jones has taken that one. It's come off the gloves, ricocheted up into her chest. Wahida awaits, Capsey in again, into the onside there, and Dean picks up this time. Gently, no runners attempted.
She won't make that mistake again.
Almost just a little bit too eager, wasn't she? That big old throw. Jones not able to get in position. But the batters remonstrating with each other after that as well. Use of the feet, battering it down the ground this time. A single. Gibson's there, picks up. Pakistan 78 for 8 in the 15th over. But you loved your time in Pakistan, didn't you?
Oh, loved it. Honestly, cannot wait to go back.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
We got such a warm welcome when we were there. Capsey moves in, little tickle into the onside, no run.
She's done it again.
Dean's fired it back in. And Amy, was she worn that on the shin pad that time? There was a sort of a clunk as it went through. Maybe she just hand palmed it there to Heather Knight, who's standing at slip.
And Amy Jones is far too nice to go, Dino, what on earth are you doing?
Just rein it in a bit. Nice sort of pinky purple hue to the sky going on actually above the Victorian terrace houses of Abington around Northampton at the moment. Capsey under the beaming floodlights, drops one a little shorter, it's missed. She was trying to pull it around the corner. Nashra, and Jones gathers this time, standing up with the helmet on to the spin of Capsey. I wonder whether some of the same haunts that we went to are still there. Were you able to get out very much beyond the hotel, or was it a bit restricted?
A little bit restricted. We got out a few times.
Capsey moves in now. They'll fill her outside the off stump, glided away, but only as far as point, fielded securely. Lauren Bell dropping to the ground, and no run. Nashra is slapping her thigh in frustration, then thinking she might have got it through the infield. 79 for 8 in the 15th.
When we were on a test tour, we were able to go out in quite a few places, so got down to the seaside in Karachi.
Oh, lovely. Here is Capsey. Moves into Nashra, drops the bat down defensively. Feels like it's survival mode for Pakistan to some degree, to see if they can get through the 20 overs. 15 have gone, and they're clinging on at 79 for 8. Now tell me, did you make it to the Lahore International Club?
Yes.
You did? That's
Wait,
still there.
did we, or did we do it at Karachi? No, Karachi went to the High Commission. No, we didn't.
Okay.
We didn't.
Okay, that was a good spot. Lots of darts were played there.
Okay.
Andrew Flintoff was on that tour. It was just after his amazing heroics of the 2005 Ashes. Alistair Cook didn't quite make his Test debut, but he turned up on that tour because there was... who went home? I think maybe did Marcus Trescothick go home? But Alistair Cook was called up to join the tour, so he was there late on. Eccleston, new over around the wickets, chopped away towards the offside, towards point, one-handed stop on the edge of the circle. Good work from Sarah Glenn. Just the one added. Wahida's on to 2, 79 for 8. 16th over, the target 145. And what about, we were in Islamabad as well?
Yeah, I've ticked them all off now, you know.
yeah.
In PSL, we got to go out and about and get to go to a few places.
Eccleston around the wicket, back up past the bowler. Mid-off is there, picks up, ball comes back in with a loopy missed throw over the head of Amy Jones, And it's left for Heather Knight to pick up then.
It's just such a shame during the PSL that we weren't actually allowed out of the hotels. So we went to a lot of the cities, but couldn't go out.
Not seeing very much.
Yeah.
Karachi, is it the Red Fort? There's an amazing outdoor restaurant area. Eccleston in again, use the feet. This is skewed up over the top, high to backward point. Catch taken. Well, it's another big, thick top edge. A sky of a catch. Another one held. And a wicket for Sophie Eccleston this time. But for Pakistan, they've been trying to cling on. They're now 9 down. Wahida has gone for 2. Pakistan 79 for 9 with a target 145.
England have been far too good today, but Pakistan have been poor, to be completely honest. So many soft dismissals. Again, another heave across the line. Rather than trying to get off strike by punching the ball down the ground or through the covers, just trying to heave the ball into the onside anywhere. A big, thick top edge. And it's taken by Sarah Glenn. Another very simple catch.
Yeah, well, England have done what they've needed to do, really, in this match. They'll probably still look at their batting innings and think they could improve in some areas there. And when it's come to the bowling, they've been offered some soft dismissals, but they've held the catches when you would expect them to. Affected the run out when there was an opportunity. But Pakistan have, things have slipped for them pretty drastically in this batting innings.
Only 2 fielders out now for Sophie Eccleston. I love it.
England moving in.
I'm surprised she's got 2. Normally she'll just have 1 out.
So slip is in place. New batter coming forward, defending.
Solid.
Sadia Iqbal. It is. Last batter for Pakistan, left-hander. Catherine Sibber-Brunt has joined us. I think you are.
You're on now.
You're with us.
I literally went, is this thing on? And nobody responded.
You're faded up.
I'd be queuing up to
As some
bowl
would
now.
say. Eccleston in, Sadia forward, chipped in the air. Could be another catching chance. 2 fielders coming together. Oh, that's well taken. Well taken, diving forward. Danielle Gibson getting to it. There could have been a collision. But she went forward, took it two-handed, ended up face down in the turf. Held on, and Sadia gone without scoring. And England have won this match comfortably by 65 runs, setting Pakistan a target of 145. They have wrapped things up in quite some style. Sophie Eccleston picking up what is her 3rd wicket of the innings in the process. Alex Hartley.
Yeah, it was almost too easy for England today, wasn't it? It was a very convincing, unconvincing innings from England in the first half of the game, and then they were far too good with the ball. The spinners outstanding again. Also Lauren Bell up top picking up a couple of wickets, and that final catch from Danny Gibson was an absolute belter.
You had, to be honest, I had money on it going wrong just because I saw them both
Charlie
approaching
Dean,
each other
hovering.
at pace, and I thought Gibbo v Charlie is going to be a mess. But it worked out in the end, and it was a great catch. And I literally said just before that ball line me up, I would be wanting to bowl right now. So I'm glad they went for it, though. Like, nobody wants to see the whole of the 20 overs play out and it not be going for that score.
Yeah, there's no point
limit to an end.
Nobody wants you to see knocking it around. At least try and reach the score. So I'm glad that it's ended the way it's ended, because it's just, it's
put you out of misery quickly.
you can't put it like that for sure, yeah. But yeah, I honestly, there were phases in this game where I've just thought, without saying it on air, that the game's gone now.
Yeah.
And it was just a couple of really bad decisions by the top 4 to put Pakistan really on the back foot, because we know after 10 overs it was a fair game. It was fair game. It was, run for run, and it was just those crucial 3 wickets in a power play that you absolutely cannot do. 1, 2 generally get away with it, still post good scores. 3 in a power play, we know 75-80% a killer. You just can't do things, especially when it's not from good bowling. It's from bad decision making, poor execution, and I think that it's literally just a bit of mentoring, a bit of just getting together as a team, being honest, saying, I think it's just the little things, because we are scoring boundaries, we are doing this well, we are doing that well. It's just some decision making, and it's sad to see, because I can see where this game could have been competitive, but they just didn't quite make it happen.
England have the batters and the capacity to recover from 11 for 4 as they were. Pakistan you're right, on runs, they had 66. England had 66 at the halfway point, 10 over mark, but England had only lost 1 wicket, but from 66 for 5, Pakistan don't have that ability in the lower order.
That's where Alia Riaz can come in and destroy you with Nida Dar, but they didn't have that platform to go on from, but England did. And that's the difference. That's why they've got to recognise that, you know, we don't need to try and post 200, 180. We can post 140, 150 and be competitive in this. Like, England can make mistakes. They're not bowling well. Pakistan are still making errors in the field, and their running was awful, and that's a controllable.
There was one run out, but there could have been more, couldn't there?
Yeah, and I'm not being funny. All 4 balls that needed us in could have been run out any one of those balls, and it's just from your captain. You need calmness from your captain. Not when she came in, all I felt was stressed. It was so chaotic, and at that point, that's not what you need. If that was Heather, they would be calm, and that pressure would be sort of tried to be stopped and put back on the opposition. And
which is exactly what happened actually with England in the first game. Heather came in and absorbed all that pressure, whereas Nida Dar came in today and almost created more pressure because she got out early and it was a bit chaotic.
Yeah. So I don't think they're far away. I just think it's a couple of bad mistakes that just turned that game on its head.
Well, England have won the series at this stage, 2-0 in the 3-match T20 series. There's 3 ODIs to come as well. We'll move up to Headingley on Sunday. I mean, Pakistan are in a sort of a state of flux, I suppose. We know that they're recovering, I suppose, from the shock retirements of Bisma Maroof and the gap she left in the side. They've got an interim coach at the moment in Mohtashim Rashid, and I understand that they are keen to employ a foreign coach after this tour. Put your hand up, Alex.
I'll put my hand up. Why not?
Why not? You're getting plenty of experience at the moment, aren't you? But yeah, they're a side on and off the field that have had some changes of late, and whether that is sort of translating a little bit as well. But certainly from skill execution level, they must know that they can do better than that. They need to do better than that with the bat.
There's a lot of there is a lot of change. England are making changes too because they've got to figure stuff out. There's a bit of a journey.
Recovering after your retirement, building from
and me and Anya weren't that far apart, and that's 1-2 decades of consistency and no change. So yeah, there's lots of changes going, but there's a hell of a long time before Bangladesh for everybody to figure this out. We talk on about England here, but Pakistan have got a huge opportunity out there in conditions not too dissimilar from their own. So it is a long time. There's lots of things to be done, but I hope that the right things are being said in the changing room. That's what you always worry about.
You also look at the defeats, and they're big defeats for Pakistan, but actually think about when they were here in 2016, how much better they are. And although the results aren't showing it, you can see that they're taking advantage of the power plays. They're also so much better in the field than they were. So they have made improvements. It's just, like you say, creating pressure for longer or absorbing pressure when needed.
Well, there was bad decisions from England in the first game, batting-wise, and then it's just sort of spilled over to Pakistan here today. And we know if both teams can sort that out, we'll have a good game.
What would you like to see England do between now and Headingley? Still things for them to be tweaking?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the bowling was shocking. Not the whole team, but at the last game. Today, there was good signs on both sides of the skills, and there's been some really good fielding today from both teams. So just some sort of like moments of goodness. But there seems to be moments of goodness, greatness, if you like, in the batting too, and in the bowling department. But no one's putting anything together. Neither teams are doing that. So I'd just quite like them to not switch off and be happy with the series win, which is absolutely what they'll talk about. They'll be on about finishing in style and with a win for certain. But they absolutely need to put it all together and put a performance on both teams. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, and we will be up at Leeds for the third match of this series on Sunday. Let me bring you the final batting card from this particular England innings, because the first wicket was Gul Feroza, caught by Bouchier out at deep mid-wicket, so trying to hit out and go big in that third over because they'd really been tied down for the first over or so. Bell's first wicket there, Gul Feroza out for 3. Sadaf Sharma was well caught by Danny White at backward point off Bell without scoring. Muniba Ali caught and bowled Eccleston a skyer of a catch, out for 18. That was 39 for 3. Nida Dye, LBW to Glenn, 41 for 4. Sidra Amin was the 5th wicket out. That was a horrible run out, a hesitate. Started, then was sent back way out of her ground, out for just 11. Fatima Sana bowled by Glenn for 8. Alia Riaz skied one to Sarah Glenn off Capsey for 19. Capsey then took a second in that same over as Diana Baig lobbed a catch to Eccleston at mid-on without scoring. Wahida Akhtar was caught by Glenn off Eccleston for just 2. Eccleston wrapping up the innings. Sadia Iqbal was well caught by Danielle Gibson. It's been a good crowd here today at Northampton, hasn't it? Good atmosphere.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Ground.
I didn't want to say I was surprised because we had an unbelievable crowd at Edgbaston.
Yeah, it was nearly 15,000 there, wasn't
nearly
there?
15,000 there, and the crowd's almost seeped over. So it's been, good crowd. I always like it when you turn up to an England women's game when there's people queuing to get in before you get here. But gone are the days where you turn up and there's nobody here watching.
Can't tell you how many pints of beer I walked past on the way in. And
is that my cue to wrap up? You've got somewhere to be.
And then on the screen every 20 minutes, ice creams everywhere, and it's freezing.
The van's still there, Catherine.
I'll catch you on my way back.
And Alex, you've got to go and do some work for the highlights programme, haven't you? Because they will be available for you on the BBC iPlayer and Red Button a little later on. And don't forget the in-play clips on the live text. They're available right now for you as well.